MJ Morning Show. I just saw Andrew rip down the hall in full-blown sprint. I'm assuming to start MJTV, and clearly Andrew was preoccupied with something else, like I'm guessing letting Roxanne in because she forgot her key.
You're a detective. Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my God. Zoink, Scoob! Am I barking up the right tree or what?
Boy, did you bust us.
Oh, did I? I mean, that was a rip. That was a tear. And I'm guessing that MJTV started just a smidge late. Oh, I just got the smidge. I've got the little smidge fingers going on, which would be the thumb and the index finger, indicating a measurement of a smidge. So at what point did MJTV start, Andrew?
Couple of words in.
Ah, okay. So,
but it's not Andrew's fault. He was helping me out.
And why can't you remember to bring your key card to get into the building?
I don't know. Why can't Fester remember his? Why can't every random person around this building remember theirs? How often does this happen?
I don't know.
Once every blue moon?
It's never happened to me.
You're so special. It's never happened to you.
It never happened to me. I have mine.
I'm perfect.
I have never not. My key card is in my wallet. It's with me all the time.
Yeah, I changed purses.
All right.
You don't have purses. Who cares?
Oh, I change wallets. You know, I got to coordinate the wallet in my front pocket. Which
You're being very pedantic, and no one likes it.
Well, listen, I just see Andrew ripping down the hole, and it took me about a nanosecond to figure out what the hell was going on. Hey, I'm kind of disappointed in you guys. Oh, welcome everybody to the MJ Morning Show. I am MJ, along with Fester and Roxanne. Andrew, our producer this morning. I'm very disappointed that you guys didn't jump all over something that I had suggested as far as a segment on the show earlier in the week.
Well, we wanted you to think of us on the same level of esteem as you think of management. So disappointment is now status quo.
Are you saying that I'm disappointed in management here?
Yes,
I am. Damn right I am. The whole Froggy situation, and I'm still working on that. I was in the management office earlier this week, laying out the case again. I'm very disappointed. I mean, to the point where I thought about just hanging up the headphones.
Hey,
I
hear you.
Yeah, I really and listen. That's not off the table. Me just saying bye-bye like that dude down the hall did earlier this week. It's not off the table for me. I'm just being honest. It is not all. I mean, that's how aggravated I remain with the whole situation.
Are you talking about the pepper piece?
Yeah. So, because I still have the little produce bag.
Okay.
Which that's the dopiest thing. When you check out at this is from Publix. When you check out at the self checkout and you key in your produce items, and I typed in habanero peppers, and these peppers, 2 habaneros, this cost 40 cents. It was not an expensive purchase. But then, I had them in the standard little kind of greenish tinted produce bag. And then it asks you what type of container. What kind of container? I use your produce bag. And then you select produce bag, and this weighs nothing. This produce bag is unregisterable on the scale. I mean, what am I got? A suitcase, a bowling ball bag, a metal safe. Yeah, I mean, that would change the weight. But this little green bag here. Anyway, so I brought in earlier this week 2 habanero peppers. And I presented this to Fester and Roxanne earlier in the week. I think it was, Tuesday show? I think it was Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday sounds
Tuesday
right.
morning.
Yeah, sure.
Because I believe I went Monday night to pick up the peppers because I had seen a very sound and stable video clip on Instagram while I was caught up in a little doom scroll on Instagram. And I saw a little video about if you cut slices of habanero pepper and shove them up your nostrils, it increases your memory dramatically. And there was a demonstration of just random word recollection. And I thought that it would be a great segment on the show for me to slice up these habanero peppers, which I have in the bag here. I'm holding this up to MJTV. I thought it would be a great segment to slice these up and then have Roxanne and Fester jam these up their nose, and then I will give them the random word quiz where I just roll out random words, and we do a test to see how many of the words they can remember without the peppers up their nose, and then we shove the habaneros up their nostrils, and then we do the test again. And according to the Instagram reel, which I'm sure is 100% accurate, your memory capability is going to skyrocket.
You know, you're the guy that uses the most words around here. If anything, we should put them in your face.
Okay.
Okay.
And then-
okay. Oh, suddenly it's a terrible idea.
I didn't sound like that. I didn't
No,
go, okay.
no.
I didn't do that.
You didn't sound like
I didn't do that.
okay. You had the implied tone.
No, there was no implied tone.
there was okay. That's what you had.
There was no implied tone.
Yeah.
No implied tone.
I was never one of those kids who shoved things up my nose, but I certainly hung around kids who did or knew of kids who did. And I heard enough lectures growing up, don't put anything up your nose, that it just is one of those, it's just ingrained with me. It's not going to happen.
My brother, Drew,
yeah.
who is now a surgeon, he shoved everything up his nose.
Well, he might love to do this.
Do you remember color forms?
Yeah.
Color forms, those like plasticky vinyl stickers that you used to stick on stuff. They were, they were reusable stickers, essentially. They were plastic vinyl, and they came in all kinds of shapes and all, whatever. Are they still around, color forms? Yeah, they were. Yeah. I don't know if they're I'm sure they're not as popular as they used to be, but you on Amazon? Yeah, color forms. Mickey's Playhouse retro playset. And they're little sticky things, and they'll have a background, and then you just stick the little stickers on, but they come off because they're plastic. My brother once shoved a whole color form set up his nose, and he had to go to the pediatrician. They had to pull him out with like forceps or something. And then what else? He shoved a Lego up his nose one time.
Maybe he was doing that to try to get early practice in the ER.
Yeah, maybe you're right. So, hey, Roxanne, I've got an observation this morning about you, if you don't mind.
Oh,
And you
when
guys
do I
are,
mind?
You guys are welcome to have observations about me anytime you want.
Yeah, I spent yesterday with a big MJ observation.
Yeah, you did my pedantic thing yesterday. You guys were just jumping on the bandwagon with Michelle with my my eating disorder, which is mouth stuffing, apparently. So you guys were all over that.
I have seen that.
Listen, I don't mind taking it. I mean, I can dish it out, and I can take it.
And you can shovel it in your face.
Yeah, you guys can hit me
You can
right.
dish it out, and you can.
You guys can hit me back anytime you want. No, I got an observation, and I hope you'll take this as a positive and a compliment.
I think I will.
All right, so hang on. I'll get to that in just a second as we're just getting rolling. What could it be? What could it be? Hang on, next. It is 6:08, just getting rolling. It's going to be a busy Thursday. MJ Morning Show on Q105. Pat's got traffic back in a minute. Well, MJ Morning Show on Q105. It's 104.7 FM. And again, it is remarkable how many people still don't know the MJ Morning Show is back on the air. It's really tremendously painful. You know, we do well. I mean, our advertisers are thrilled. The amount of business and the feedback when I do my live commercials for my live endorsement clients here on the MJ Morning Show, they're thrilled with the response they get. But still, our audience can clearly grow. And, well, the state of media these days, you know, we don't have the budget to, put up a ton of billboards, run some TV spots. But it's still a large number, the amount of people in this market that don't know the MJ Morning Show is back. I'm talking about fans that grew up on MJ and BJ and then MJ over on the other radio station for nearly 20 years that don't know that we came back here on 104.7 FM in October of 2020 in the middle of COVID. And that kind of hurt, the fact that, people going to the office and the commute, 2020 was a crap show. As far as workplace goes. And, well, I think that also kind of hindered the situation a little bit. So, my simple request to you is please tell people that the MJ Morning Show is back. When you come across friends or coworkers, relatives, just walk up to random people. If you're in Walmart, you're in CVS, just walk up to random people. Hey, the MJ Morning Show is back on 104.7 FM. They call it Q105. Just tell people. Help us out. So if I don't have a budget to be able to put up billboards and buy TV spots and everything, we could use you. And this word of mouth is among the best advertising you can possibly have. So that's all I'm asking. Just a little favor from you, the MJ Morning Show listener, to help us continue to spread the word that the best morning radio entertainment, pound for pound, every single day, consistently, is this radio show. I mean, I hear more and more from people that listen to some other radio shows in town, some of the other morning offerings, and they say they're total abortions, that there's just some really crap morning radio in this market. I'm serious. I'm not joking. All right, Roxanne, can I make an observation?
Yeah, I told you earlier. Go right ahead.
All right, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
You said it's a compliment.
I think it is. You're kind of makeup free right now.
Pretty much. I mean, I have a little bit of eyeliner on underneath.
Yeah, when did you do that?
This morning, I just went smudge.
But you did that when? Before you got here?
Yeah, I did that about, 5 o'clock.
But you haven't applied the whole face thing that we see you do, like usually beginning about now?
Yeah, you're right. I stopped doing that. When I came back from Italy, I stopped doing that.
It looks great. Just you don't need to, do the whole big, makeup show.
I mean,
to me, it's like au natural, and I think it looks great.
Thank you. Truth be told, it's kind of a hybrid because I did put a little bit on at home. Like I put a little eyeliner there,
right.
And I will put I put some Vaseline on my lips, or not Vaseline, Aquaphor. And
isn't Aquaphor Vaseline essentially?
I mean, it's in the same family, but I wanted to be brand specific.
And what do you think the main ingredient in Vaseline is and Aquaphor?
Petroleum jelly.
That is correct. That is 100% right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Dude.
So is there any difference between Aquaphor and Vaseline?
I
also,
really prefer Aquaphor.
Also, I like saying Vaseline. There are people that say Vaseline, like there's a Z in there, like Venezuela. Vaseline, not Vaseline. Anyway, I'm telling you, the au natural or the less makeup look for you, I think, is very complimentary.
That's nice. Thank you.
I hope this is not like some kind of creepy HR violation.
I don't take it as that.
All right, I'm not hitting on you or anything. I'm just telling you that you don't need to, put on 3.5 pounds of makeup.
I've never been a put on 3.5 pounds of makeup.
No, I'm exaggerating.
So I've always been a minimalist.
2.75.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry.
No, I'm kind of a makeup minimalist.
It's crazy we're talking about Vaseline because I just read last week that the inventor of Vaseline.
Get out. And why would you be reading about the inventor of Vaseline?
Just a rando quirky fact. It might have pulled up on Twitter or X, and I was like, the inventor of Vaseline, he ate a spoonful of it every day.
Oh, he ate a spoonful of petroleum jelly?
And lived to 95.
What the living F? Are you serious?
I swear. I I don't know even how I stumbled upon this.
Oh, yeah, look at this. Fester has brought something up on the Googles. Robert Chesbro. Is that how you say that? Because that became Chesbro Ponds. Isn't that the company? Chesbro. Is that how you say it? CHESEBROUGH. And it's hyphenated. Chesbro Ponds. So at some point, I guess Robert Chesbro hooked up with Mr. Pond or Mr. Ponds.
And started this skincare company?
Or whatever, I don't know.
Ointment company?
Ointments, just pharmaceutical items. Yeah, hold on here. Professor found this on the Googles. Robert Chesbro, the inventor of Vaseline, was convinced of its health benefits. He reportedly ate a spoonful daily and covered himself in it during illness.
When he wasn't feeling well, he'd have somebody apply it to every inch of his body.
Chesbro. What's up, Chesbro? He discovered petroleum jelly in 1859 and patented it in 1872. How do you invent petroleum jelly?
I haven't done that deep a dive yet, but he's the inventor of it, and he lived like a really long life.
Yeah, for that time of the
96 years.
Yeah, he lived. So he was born in 1837 and died in September of 1933 at the age of 96.
I invented Vaseline.
No, but when you think about somebody born in the mid 19th century, the mid 1800s,
dead at 50.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times,
Pretty much.
50, 65. I mean, that was like top end.
That was old age.
Maybe 72. But this dude lived, maybe there's something to eating a spoonful of Vaseline every single damn day. That's disgusting. Hey, Fester, you know what? Tomorrow's show, you just bought yourself a bit. I want you to bring in some Vaseline.
Listen,
I want you to eat a spoonful of Vaseline. Will you do that?
I have very little to live for. You, on the other hand, have so much to live for.
Oh, hold on. Whoa. What do you mean that I have more to live for than you?
I mean, this budding radio career you have here.
Oh,
Me,
dude.
Lights out any time.
The heyday of the radio career, that passed some time. I'm very thankful for those years. Those years have been very, very good to me, and it put me in a good position. But, I don't think that I've got a lot to look forward to in the radio business these days.
Yeah, so anyway.
We had a kid in here yesterday.
On Tuesday.
I'm sorry, Tuesday. Was that like a college shadowing day? Was that some kind of a deal on Tuesday? Because I got...
No, it was just my friend.
No, but I think that Tuesday was also some kind of a shadowing day.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why the hell they do that in the middle of the damn summer, but I think that because
were there other young people in the building?
Well, no, I had an email that I didn't get to, and I found it, and it's someone, a girl. Hold on a minute. I think her name was Mackenzie or something. Let me check my email. And I'm usually good about my email, but my email's been just very, very heavy in the last couple of weeks, and I'm trying to get to everyone, and I am. I'm reading everything. I'm trying to respond. Yeah, Mackenzie.
What was the name of the young lady we had here last year who stopped in for a day?
Esmeralda.
We had Jenna.
I don't remember.
She was one. We had a handful actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. So I get this email from Mackenzie. Good afternoon, MJ. And this came in on the 12th.
Okay.
And then let's see. What was Monday? Was earlier this week. Monday was it the what was Monday?
Pull it up.
20th?
Monday was
No.
the 15th.
Well,
what the hell am I saying?
Today is the 18th.
What am I saying? Oh, God help me. What am I saying?
So she sent you the email on...
Stand up, Joe.
She sent you the email.
What was that guy's name? What the hell am I saying? All right.
So
few people got that joke.
She sent you the email on the 12th, which was a Friday,
right?
About Tuesday,
right,
which would have
right.
been the 16th.
All right. Well,
Monday was the 15th.
Monday,
16th?
okay. Monday was the 15th. There we go. All right. So I get this email. Good afternoon, MJ. I'm not sure if you remember me. My name is Mackenzie. I shadowed the team at the station this time last year. I'm a student at Washington and Lee University. Good school.
Yeah.
Looking to pursue sports media. I also host a Friday night radio show.
She did a real radio show segment with us. I think she's on the golf team.
I'm currently interning at Fox 13 in Tampa, but I'm available Tuesday and Wednesdays for the rest of the summer. Let me know if this is possible. I'm happy to show up anytime. I thought she said Oh, you know what? Maybe she just wants to shadow. Maybe it's not an official shadowing day. Okay, maybe
Mackenzie was in before. We met her last year.
I'm very confused. I'm very confused these days. I probably need to step down and let someone else take the reins. All right, so
we've been working behind the scenes with several high-ranking senators to make that happen.
All right, so I said, hey, sorry, just saw this. So let's see. No worries. Would July 30th or 31st work for you? Fester, I'm going to turn this over to you.
No.
And invite Mackenzie in.
How did Mackenzie get roped into the last time?
I don't know. I can't remember. But listen, we're happy to help out college kids and those that want to expose themselves to the business. But again, my recommendation is do not go into this business now. My recommendation is do not pursue a career in communications, in radio, television. I mean, you've heard me complain. Look at for instance, look at the reporters that are getting jobs on local TV. They don't belong in this market yet. I mean, some never belong on even television, let alone, getting jobs this quickly in market number 12, 13. This is a big market. We've got a 3 million person market here. It's a big media market. And you turn on Channel 8, Channel 13, Channel 28, Channel 10, and you're going to see some of these new reporters that, man, they should be doing like 4 or 5 years in Wichita Falls.
Not Wichita.
Yeah, not Wichita. Wichita Falls. I mean, they ought to be doing some small market crap for years, and even then they might not make it. But we're getting folks that should be in market number 170, cutting their chops and teeth, and they're coming right to Tampa Bay. I'm watching some of the local news these days. I'm like, oh, my God, how bad is this reporter? They don't belong here yet, and maybe never. So anyway, I do not recommend media for kids. Listen, the heyday has passed. I mean, look at the newspaper situation in this town. Look at the Tampa Bay Times. They're publishing twice a week. There's a hard paper on Wednesdays and Sundays only. What the hell does that say? And, traditional media, while it still has a ton of value, radio, folks, we still reach more people media-wise than any other medium every single week. Radio is still an extremely viable way to get to people en masse. It's great. I mean, I know that my sponsors here on the MJ Morning Show, when you hear me do my live commercials, get remarkable response. It is still a very viable medium. However, if you look at pay structure and career advancement, that has been absolutely smashed over the last 10, 12, 15 years. So Roxanne had some kid in that she has a friend of a friend. Is that it?
He's actually the son of our dance teacher.
Gotcha. So he came in, and he's an English major. He's a rising senior, I think at University of Florida. He's a Gator. Yeah. And I said, hey, just don't go to TV and radio. Yeah. And
you kept it real.
I was just being honest with the guy. I'm like, salaries have been crushed. The amount of money people are making. They used to have, reporters that would come to this market from, smaller markets, but still they were really good. And they maybe would make, 75, 80 grand a year. They're bringing in reporters now at like 35, 40K. I mean, people were making more money back in the 80s and 90s in media jobs than they're making today.
True story.
Little inside radio here, inside media. Hey, keeping it real on the MJ Morning Show. You know what I'm going to keep real next? I got some morons in the news. Morons in the news next. And I'm getting paid a fraction to do morons in the news today is what I got paid back in 1999.
But we'll give you all of them.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to scrimp on you.
No.
I'm not going to skimp and scrimp and shrimp. All right, hang on. That's next on the MJ Morning Show, 6:34. Running a few minutes late here. Let me tell you about... 6:42 at the MJ Morning Show. Morons in the news. Here on a Thursday morning. Where do I start? Should I start with this scooter pervert? Oh, man, they got a scooter pervert. This is up in upstate New York. Guy's riding an electronic scooter, and he's pleasuring himself while watching porn in a New York Walmart. Son, that's no way to go through life. Can you imagine the guy is pleasuring himself while riding a scooter through Walmart and watching, I guess, porn on his phone?
This is like a Mad Libs.
What the heck?
Yeah, it really is.
All right, so a guy's riding a scooter.
The blank?
Yeah. Okay.
Through a blank.
And what's he watching on TV?
He's watching blank.
Yeah, watching.
And doing this to himself blank.
Okay, where is he? Where is he now?
Walmart?
Yeah, okay, great.
Yes.
So a guy riding his scooter is watching dirty videos, handling himself in a Walmart.
Yeah. This is upstate New York. Guy was charged with public lewdness for allegedly pleasuring himself while watching porn in the electronics department at Walmart. Keith Dobucky, Dobucki, Dobucky, right?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Keith Dobucky, 45 years old, was busted. Or as Young MC would say,
busted.
Yeah. Anyway, so Keith O'Bucky was busted shortly after 9:15 p.m. at a Walmart location in Lockport, New York. I have no idea where that is. Sounds like it's probably near Buffalo.
Lockport?
Lockport.
Okay.
It's upstate. I'm guessing near Buffalo or Rochester.
Yeah, somewhere on the lake.
Lockport. Where the hell is that? How far from Buffalo? Very close.
Yeah, right near Niagara Falls.
That was a good guess. Not far from Tonawanda. I've been to Buffalo. I've been to Tonawanda as well. Anyway, so this idiot was, pleasuring himself. So the cops get a call about him, personally manipulating himself while watching explicit videos on a display phone. So are those phones, are they hooked up to service? I know when you go into a Verizon store or an AT&T store that those phones are all kind of hooked up, and they're generally hooked up to like the store Wi-Fi, so you can, go to websites, check things out.
Yeah, they want you to play
Yeah.
with the
But
phone.
I didn't know, like at Walmart, where they also have some cell phones on display, I didn't know if those were all working examples. So this guy, or they're not blocked. You just go to one of these. Can you go to Verizon, one of these Verizon stores, or AT&T or T-Mobile stores, and just walk in and just go to like Pornhub or something?
I'm going to find out. Discreetly, of course.
What are you gonna go to the Verizon store down 4th Street here after the show?
I mean, they're connected to something, but you'd think it'd be like 20 or 30 pre-approved websites.
Yeah.
But no.
So he's just sitting there. He's on an electric scooter. So I think it's his own scooter. He rolls through Walmart and goes to the electronics department, and he's just watching porn on a mobile phone in their display area for cell phones.
I mean, it's their phone.
Yeah, he was also charged with display of public sexual material. That is a misdemeanor. He was also hit with a disorderly conduct violation, released without bail. That's great. Release him without bail. There you go. That's some justice up in New York State. And he's due back in Lockport Town Court in August is when he's due.
I'm sure he'll show up on his scooter.
And also the New York State Police, with their nice purple ties, they also notified the state parole officials because Dobucky is on parole. Yeah, I don't have any details on what he's on parole for, but probably watching porn on cell phones in a Target store. Yep. Now he's moved to Walmart. What a sicko. What a total, complete sicko.
So, MJ, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of these TVs that you see at restaurants or these department stores,
Yeah.
you can access with your Bluetooth off your phone.
Have you ever done it?
No, but my daughter has.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
And
Wait a sec. You're saying that if you're in a bar or restaurant and they have a TV?
it's all Bluetooth technology up there.
Oh, yeah. I can screencast. Like I've got I've got a bunch of Sony TVs. I'm a Sony fan. I think Sony's got the best thing going as far as, regular OLEDs or, typical, flat screens. So on my Sony TVs, there's a screencast feature, and I can, if my phone is Bluetooth to the TV, I can just select screen. I can post anything from my phone onto the TV.
Right.
And that's what you're talking about.
So we went to a restaurant maybe a month and a half ago.
And she put porn up?
No, my daughter was put up like her YouTube channel.
Oh, really?
Yeah. My daughter has like a private YouTube channel where she has like dumb videos.
How long did it take for the establishment to realize that your daughter hijacked their television set?
They never really noticed, but my daughter's giggling out of control. I'm like, what's so funny? And she's like, look behind you. And there's a picture of, my son dancing.
You know what?
And I'm like, we had a chuckle. And then eventually the server came over and saw it. And it was funny. And then the server said, listen, that's no big deal. We've had people before.
Oh, put porn up there?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, right.
What restaurant was it?
It's Ford's Garage.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
Right.
they got a lot of TVs.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
could be anywhere.
Yeah.
You go to Walmart or Best Buy, they have that wall of TVs.
You could say Ford's. It's not their fault.
No, it's not.
Ford's Garage is a fine establishment.
It's one of our favorite places.
Very, very good friend of mine happens to be the president and CEO of Ford's Garage.
He's
so
a really good friend of yours.
Yeah.
He should give me a VIP card.
good,
But
good burger at Ford's Garage.
Yeah.
And what does the kids eat free night?
Tuesday.
Yeah, look at that.
We went there.
Yeah, Ford's Garage is a very solid establishment.
So, we're at the Ford's Garage. I think we're at the location in Wesley Chapel.
You think? Would you forget?
Well, we go to two locations.
Okay,
we're,
all right.
we're by as
You're
far as
by
Ford's Garage.
locational.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, we're at the Wesley Chapel location, and my daughter just casted her phone to one of their TVs. But you could do that at any store. Maybe
Yeah.
if you can log in or connect to it.
I remember that I had some device. I can't remember. I don't know if it was a Palm Pilot or an HP device. There was something back in like the mid to late 90s where you could use this digital device as a remote control. And you would dial up, like there was a program in it, and you could use your device to change channels. And you just like went into the program and selected what brand TV, because then that kind of
So it had all of them?
it had like all the big brands, and I guess those with like the infrared codes or whatever the code was that you could select the brand, whether it was a Sony, Panasonic, Toshiba, whatever the TV was. And it was like a list of like even like brands that I've never heard of. There's like 300 different, and you could select all these TVs. And I can't remember what the device was. It was just some electronic device I had, I think in the mid to late 90s. And you could just go to a restaurant or bar and just start changing the channels on their TVs. And I did that a few times.
Now there's apps
Yeah.
for all of it.
And then Andrew was telling me that there was a Casio watch that would do the same thing as well. All right, 6:50 at the MJ Morning Show. I didn't even get to all my early morons of the news, so I'll have to sprinkle some more. 7 o'clock hour starts in just a matter of moments. Let's talk about your garage. Listening to on Q105, it's 104.7 FM. I am MJ with Fester and Roxanne and Andrew, the producer. I am working on a deal to get Froggy back on, maybe pop in the studio occasionally, getting him on the phone, and also bringing Froggy back full-time. I am told that...
What are you told?
I am told that it's not out of the question that we can bring Froggy back early next year.
Have you spoken to Froggy in the last week?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does he have any interest in even coming back? I got to tell you.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, company hands me some walking papers. I don't know how interested I'd be to come back.
Listen, it would be his choice.
Of course.
And listen, that's where things stand. I'm just keeping the audience up to speed here. So I'll tell you what, this is a place where you want to work. Look at this. This is where you want to work. Some restaurant up in Atlanta. Guess what you get when you hit your 15-year anniversary working for this particular restaurant?
What?
Take a guess.
A new car.
Hey, guess what? You're not that far off. Yeah, it's not quite a new car, or as Johnny Olson or Rod Roddy used to say on the Price is Right, back when they had like a real-sounding game show announcer, they used to say, "A new car!" I mean, come on, that's the game show announcer sound. Like the new Price is Right announcer. Listen, the whole show is just kind of sucky. I'm sorry. Drew Carey did not fill the void.
It's a different show.
He didn't fill the... Listen,
nobody's going to be the same.
And then like Johnny Olson back in the day, and then Rod Roddy. I mean, I think the last of the good announcers was Rich Fields, who's who was on Q105, local guy here, and he was on Q105. I mean, he was like the last of the real kind of classic-y kind of game show announcer type. You know. Anyway, where was I? How'd I get? Oh, you said new car.
A new car.
Right. So then I kind of drove off the road in a new car into a ditch. A new car. This is where you want to get a job. After 15 years of service at Marlowe's Tavern, this is in the Atlanta area, Marlowe's Tavern. Guess what employees get when they hit the 15-year mark of being employed at this place?
If it's not a new car, you really bid on that. I thought it was going to be something crappy like some Lifesavers or something.
No, I mean, some places, I think like when I worked for iHeart and Clear Channel, I think I got like a little glass candy dish, like commemorating like 15 years or something. I mean, seriously, I got like and it wasn't even like Wedgeworth Crystal or something. It was Waterford, whatever the hell, Wedgeworth, Waterford.
I think they're both brands.
Are those both brands?
I think so.
Anyway, I got some like chintzy little glass candy dish, which I proceeded to smash in the parking lot. I think a salesperson got a flat tire, actually. All right, but here's the deal. 15 years of service at Marlowe's Tavern in the Atlanta area. Guess what employees get?
What do they get?
A Rolex watch.
Oh, my God.
That is nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think the Beasleys ought to start that. What do you think? 15 years of service, you get a Rolex watch. Actually, it would be a fake one off of Canal Street in New York.
It'd be a Bolex or something.
No, they say Rolex. It is fake as hell. Yeah.
But you're not a Rolex guy. What are you again, an AP?
No, I do like AP.
Okay.
That's Audemars Piguet.
Yes.
Audemars Piguet.
And no one even says Audemars Piguet because nobody can say it, so it's just AP.
Yeah, a lot of people just say AP. No.
Even if you're not a Rolex guy, you're not going to turn one down for a 15-year gift.
Yeah, so AP is a great watch, but listen, I like watches.
I know you do. That's why I thought I'd name drop a...
I love watches.
Watch.
I mean, I'm just a fan of the craftsmanship. And, I don't Rolex is kind of the flashy, the big name. Oh, if someone makes it big, got to have a Rolex. I've never owned a Rolex in my life.
Well, you didn't work for this company for 15 years. This burger joint in Atlanta.
Yeah,
but Andrew says, is a Marlowe's here? Andrew, turn your mic on.
Yes.
I wonder if Marlowe's Carrollwood gives their employees a Rolex watch
Ooh.
after 15 years, or if it's just the Atlanta Marlowe's.
I've never heard of Marlowe's restaurant.
But you want to know what watches I like?
What's the one that you love? There's one brand that you love.
Casio.
That's right.
I mean,
I do.
A good Swatch. Yep.
No, I don't have Swatch. I don't have Swatch, but I've got a number of Casios. No, on a serious note, Not necessarily watches I own, but watches that I really appreciate. For me, I am wearing an IWC right now. I do love IWC. Patek Philippe. You can't.
There you go. That was the one I was trying to think of that you like.
Patek, or some people say Patek. Patek Philippe is just a phenomenal watch. There's a German brand called Alanga und Söhne, or in the U.S. people say Lang and Son, which is just a phenomenal watch. So those are some nice. I
don't appreciate Roxanne doing this.
All right.
Roxanne deliberately sabotages you by throwing you down rabbit trails of irrelevance that nobody knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Listen, this is a podcast material that you're talking about. Watches with MJ is a podcast, not a radio show.
How can we do a watch story without MJ's watch expertise?
This is as unrelatable as Derek Jeter's Jeep commercial. Okay,
listen, this is a 2-minute little deviation.
2 minutes.
Oh, hang on a minute. I guess
I can drown myself in 2 minutes.
All right. Guess what? Andrew says that there'll be no gold Rolexes being given out at the Carrollwood location of Marlowe's Tavern because Andrew says it closed.
Yeah, for years it was in Carrollwood Village Shopping Center, but apparently it closed.
When did it close?
Because they were giving out all the watches.
No.
Couldn't meet the bottom line.
You mean up at the main location up in?
I don't know.
Up in Atlanta.
So they're only in 2 states. There's 3 of them in Florida, a bunch of them in Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know about the other locations, but their Atlanta one, they give their employees a Rolex after 15 years of service. That's pretty darn nice. All right, I have something that really kind of hits home and kind of crunches home. Frito-Lay. Lay's potato chips, Fritos, all the other little side snacks, pretzels.
Yeah, sure.
What are they? Do they do rolled gold? Or what is the Frito-Lay snack brand? Bring up the webpage so I can really familiarize myself with all of the Frito-Lay brands.
They own half the chip aisle.
Yeah, and I believe it's owned by PepsiCo, right? Isn't Frito-Lay? It's part of Pepsi, if I'm not mistaken.
I think of the corn chips when I think of Frito-Lay.
Yeah,
Fritos of mind.
Fritos were the original corn chips.
Yeah.
But they are Cheetos, Ruffles,
Funyuns, Tostitos, Cracker Jack, Munchies, Grandma's Cookies. I mean, they got a lot of stuff.
Here's your rolled gold.
Santitas, tortilla chips.
Yeah.
Smart Food, like the popcorn. They got a lot of
Stacy's pita chips.
Oh yes, they bought Stacy's.
Yeah.
Stacy was just some lady that was just baking chips at home and selling them off some kind of food cart in Boston, and now she walked away like a billionaire with freaking chips and little pieces of cooked dough in a bag.
Good for her.
That's the American way, baby.
It's a division of PepsiCo, yes.
Yeah, so the reason why I'm bringing this up, rolled gold is on there.
Yeah.
So I mean, a lot of big brands from Frito-Lay. Frito-Lay is recognizing that snack food sales are down. Why? Because have you seen the price of like a bag of chips these days?
Insanely expensive.
It's crazy, Eddie. Insane.
I'll tell you now, we don't buy chips unless it's on BOGO. If it's like a buy one, get one, maybe I'll go for it.
But the snack food prices are out of control. Also, like breakfast cereals, those prices have also shot up. But here's what Frito-Lay is suggesting now, that lower prices could win back consumers that have been chased away with the inflationary prices.
Duh.
Exactly. Duh. Hold on, let's do a duh off. Duh.
That's a good one.
All right, go ahead.
Duh.
Roxanne?
Duh.
Roxanne's was the best.
Thanks.
It's really good.
Yeah. Thanks, Frito-Lay. So if you lower prices on your snack foods that have gone through the roof, people might buy more if you lower the prices. Oh, my God. This sounds like a Pulitzer Prize in economics in the making here. Holy frigamoly.
My economics thesis, written for Frito-Lay.
Yeah.
Lower prices and regain your customers.
Following the pandemic, snack food prices jumped 23% in a 2-year span from mid-21 through mid-last year, according to the Consumer Price Index. The result of the surge in the pricing has caused consumers to pull back spending on snack food. Frito-Lay parent company PepsiCo announced its quarterly earnings last Thursday and said the snack foods brand revenue dipped in the last quarter.
Dipped.
What dips do they own?
We're going to take over Big Sour Cream.
Frito-Lay's net profit fell 3.5%. Ramon L. LaGuarta, the CEO of PepsiCo, suggested that some of its products could have lower prices.
Well, the same holds true with the soda division.
Yeah. Oh, sodas. Like a 2-liter bottle.
It's like $4.
Yeah, those used to be what, $1.29, $1.59?
Yeah. I think Publix had it for like $3.75 for a 2-liter of Coke or 2-liter of Pepsi.
Right, but the Coke and Pepsi and the soft drink prices have gone through the freaking roof. So the same thing. But how's that for a brilliant statement? Man, I'll tell you what. This is CEO material right here, that the CEO of PepsiCo suggested that some of its products could have lower prices. Oh, you think?
Who brought that up in a meeting? Bob. Look at the brain on Bob.
Look at the big brain on Bob.
Look at him. Bob's business acumen.
He
Wow.
is CEO material.
There is clearly a consumer that is more challenged, and as a consumer that is telling us in particular parts of our portfolio, they want more value to stay with our brands.
Yeah.
Duh!
You like my duh?
It's
Hey.
a duh off.
Is it really Ozempic and Wegovy that's making everybody lose weight?
No,
or
no,
is
no,
it just
no,
they're
no,
not eating
no,
chips?
No. Wegovy.
Wegovy.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Wegovy.
No, they have a new commercial where they're all singing the jingle. I thought it was Wegovy, but it's we. It's like Wegovy.
They changed the
Wegovy.
name of it mid-ad campaign.
Wegovy. They've got like this big like chorus jingle going on. Wegovy.
And they're not eating chips in the commercial. Unfortunately.
All right, 7:15 at the MJ Morning Show. We have an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ coming up. We have a lot in this long segment, including a Britney Spears, Ozzy Osbourne update. If you missed this on yesterday's show, Ozzy Osbourne went after Britney Spears, and now Britney Spears is going after Ozzy Osbourne. Gotta love this. We also have another horrific national anthem update from that country star, Ingrid Andress. There is another update, believe it or not.
When does she go away? When does she start her rehab?
Oh, I've got a reckless item coming. I mean, I'm looking at my pile here. We have amazing stuff in an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ, which starts next. That means no music, no commercials for an hour and 20 minutes plus. We do it every morning around 7:25, and that is minutes away. Stand by. Sorry, Tay-Tay, but that's still the champion. I didn't really care for Tay-Tay's remake of September. That's the one right there, the original Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know what I'm talking about when I say Tay-Tay, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Tay-Tay.
I'm a big fan.
Big fan of what?
Tay-Tay.
Oh, you are a big
yeah,
fan
big
of
fan
Tay-Tay.
of Tay-Tay.
Big fan. But
Oh, yeah.
how about her rendition of September? You like Tay-Tay's rendition or Earth, Wind, and Fire's rendition?
Earth, Wind, and Fire takes
Yeah,
it.
well, of
Yeah,
course.
for sure.
7:27 now at the MJ Morning Show. We are starting an hour and 20 minutes of nonstop MJ right now. 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's minimum. We always go over. It's typically, an hour and 23, 24, 25, sometimes even longer. Fester.
Yes.
You are a fan of this establishment, and sometimes, I think you've said, once a week sometimes, you'll actually roll in and grab the $5.99 to-go specials to feed the family cheaply?
I don't know which will. Give me a little more. Hold on.
What
Give
do
me
you
more.
mean give you more?
Pizza, pizza.
Okay.
Pizza, pizza.
There are several.
Is that enough?
Pizza, pizza.
That's a little more.
Pizza, pizza.
Pizza is like maybe once every 6 weeks.
Oh, I thought it was
not once a week.
I thought it was once a week.
Now-
All right.
Pizza, pizza.
Other high-level, classy Italian joints like Domino's,
Domino's?
and the Huta de Pizza.
the pizza.
Pizza, pizza.
We go to a little more, but yeah, Little Caesars, man, you can't beat the.
Is it $5.99 or do they jack it up?
I think it's like $5.99 plus tax. It's like $6.50, and
All
then
right.
they got a couple of unique
But
items.
but the whole Little Caesars thing, and listen, I'm a pizza snob. I have an extensive pizza list from all across the country, and I'm very picky with my pizza. I'm not a franchise pizza guy. I'm sorry.
Look at this $7.99 thin crust. Tell me that doesn't look delicious.
All right, no, it's I'm sorry, but the Little Caesars and Pizza Hut and Domino's, it doesn't quite satisfy my pizza.
No, you're way off.
Snobbery. What do you mean I'm way off?
Good stuff is what I'm telling
all right,
you.
Look, Fester, I need to take you on a pizza tour and show you what the real stuff is really like. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because I know that you are a Little Caesars fan and that you will pick up their hot and fresh. What is the deal? Like you could go in there anytime and they've got a hot and fresh pizza ready to go?
They always have it ready. I legit just walk in and say, hey, one cheese, one pep. And the guy goes, all right, here it is. Boom, boom.
I don't want to piss off Little Caesars franchise owners or managers or employees, but
Pizza, pizza.
if you go in to get the hot and fresh, always ready pizza, it's just in a hot box. And how long has that pizza been sitting there?
That's not the case.
I've just read a whole story about that's the case because an employee is saying that here's the hack to make sure you get a freshly made pizza.
All right, what's the hack?
The hack is, and this is in response to, this is an employee that is saying, I'm not making this crap up.
Dude, when I go to
Listen,
Little Caesars, it's so busy. It's like a nightclub. They're burning through them, man.
Listen to me. This is a Little Caesars employee, a former employee, that says, I'm sorry in advance to all Little Caesars workers. And this is how you get a hot and fresh pizza every time. Because the story says that Little Caesars is known for its signature hot and ready pizzas. Like the name implies, it's hot and ready. They're pre-made, just in a hot box behind the counter, waiting for you to walk in and pick them up.
Right, so they're a couple of minutes old. They're not like they're like 4 hours old.
They could be. They could be an hour old. How do you get a hot and fresh pizza every time and not out of the hot box that might have been sitting there for a while? So this is, dude, don't shoot the messenger here. This is, I'm getting this information from a former pizza Little Caesars employee.
I can't believe you're falling for this Little Caesar propaganda.
I'm not falling for Little Caesars propaganda.
Pizza, pizza.
What's this? Sorry,
Pizza, pizza.
Sorry, Caesar.
Pizza, pizza.
What's the secret?
Don't step on this Little Caesar guy.
Pizza, pizza.
He says that you just do a variation on the order. This will guarantee you a fresh pizza every single time if that's your jam. He says Little Caesars workers are going to hate me for telling you guys this, but I used to work there, so I'm going to give you a little life hack.
Oh, no.
Ask for either extra sauce or light sauce or extra cheese or light cheese And that way they will make it fresh
Yep.
every time. So a little variation in the pizza is going to guarantee that you get a freshie and not one that's been sitting around for maybe an hour, 45 minutes, hour and a half, whatever, in the hot box.
Oh, yeah. I find that little trick works well at, you can name some fast food places where if you ask for an order modification and you will get the best fast food sandwich, like a breakfast sandwich.
You know, a lot of people forget this, but do you remember back when we were kids, McDonald's, they used to have the slots with all the burgers pre-made.
Mm-hmm.
They used to be sitting in slots. A lot of folks like the Generation Z and the millennials today, they don't know about this. But when you used to go to a McDonald's counter, right behind them, the little like island separating the front to the back kitchen, they had that whole little display unit, but they had like stainless steel on a slant slots. If it's on a slope and a slant, better not get the Secret Service in there. All right, so here, all right, but they used to have these slanted slope slots, and they used to be stacked up with the different burgers, the Big Macs, the filet of fish, the cheeseburgers, the hamburgers, and they were like just sitting there ready to just grab them. And now they're pretty much made to order instead of them already pre-made and sitting there.
Well, I tell you what, if I order a bacon, egg, cheese biscuit, but then I sub out the yellow egg, like the yellow folded egg for a round egg, oh, my sandwich is so fresh.
Yeah, that's another hack is at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You get the biscuit without the folded egg, ask for you get an Egg McMuffin, a round egg.
Yeah,
Correct.
you sub
Yeah.
the round egg. Okay,
Yeah.
This hack's all over the place. This requesting a little variation gets you something special made. Who didn't know that? Just like McDonald's, if you order French fries with no salt, they have to fry a new batch of fries. You get hot and fresh fries,
Right.
but it has no salt.
Right.
If you go to Burger King and you ask for the chicken sandwich out of the fryer, they have to fry a new chicken sandwich, and it gives it to you piping hot. There's different hacks. What this defeats the purpose of, it's hot and fresh, but it's not hot and ready. The thing about Little Caesars is you walk in and it's there. Bing, it's done.
So you wait 5 or 7 or 8 minutes for a fresh pizza.
Defeats the whole purpose of the operation.
Oh, yeah, because 7, 8, 10 minutes out of your life is going to change the whole trajectory of your existence.
Have you been to a Little Caesars?
No, I have not.
You want to spend...
I have never walked into a Little Caesars in my life.
You want the pizza, but you want to spend as little time as possible in there. That's why you walk in. It's already made. You tell them what you want, and boom, you turn around.
Fester, you're like disgruntled here all of a sudden.
Because this is like...
I came here with a hack to help you.
It's no hack.
I came here to help you.
It hacked off 8 minutes of my life.
You're kicking me in the nuts with steel-toed construction boots.
I'm giving you a dose of cheap pizza reality.
This is what you're paying for at the cheap pizza, is what you're saying.
If you want it hot and ready, you take what they got. You know how they're going to make it. It's going to be what it is, and that's it. And it's pretty good.
I got an update. In just a moment. We got a Hawk Tour update here. Oh, this is serious.
Listen.
First, though, the Little Caesars pizza lines are ringing. Hi, good morning, MJ Morning Show. Katie in Clearwater, hello.
Hey, so back in the late 80s when my parents, when you had the phone on the wall, we had a tally next to the phone because they printed our phone number in the Little Caesars ad. So we got free pizza for 2 years.
Whoa. Wait a sec. What happened?
Back in the late 80s,
Yeah.
they printed our phone number in their flyer. And
Oh, you mean they accidentally put your home number instead of the store's number?
In their massive advertising.
correct.
Well, this was locally, though, right?
Yes, in Largo.
How the hell was the store's phone number similar to your home phone number?
Yes, it was 1 digit off.
Way back when we used to have the phone on the wall in the kitchen.
That was a while ago.
Yes, like the kitchen in Stranger Things.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So every time we would give them,
Did you guys have the 30-foot coiled cord that would stretch from the kitchen all the way to the garage?
yeah, of course, we all did.
Yeah, we all did. Absolutely. So you got free pizza. Well, how long before they corrected the issue?
It was still in there, so you would have your people that would have the flyer laying around with the coupons on it. So 2 years later, they're still calling us.
Oh my!
And we're still giving back the phone number.
Oh my God! So you're giving them the actual phone number to call, right?
Right. And every time we do tally marks, we have. I'm telling you, in the first 6 months, we must have racked up like 600 calls.
Is that Little Caesars in Largo still there?
I don't think so.
All
I don't
right.
think so. I think.
And do you still have the same home number or not anymore?
Oh no, not anymore.
Do you remember the number?
No, I wish.
But in Largo back then it was 813 and not 727.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. It was 813-535 something.
Yep. 835-535 pizza. All right. Great story, Katie. And you guys got free pizza whenever you wanted it?
Yes, for 2 years.
That is
All
amazing.
we did is walk in and give my mother or my father's name, and they're like, "Yep, they get free pizza."
And how often did you guys abuse the hell out of it, or were you guys reasonable?
We were reasonable.
Like, how often would you get a free pizza because of the mishap?
At least once a month
Oh, once a month.
Once a month.
Oh, yeah, that's light.
or more.
Yeah.
All right, Katie, hold on. I'm looking up the Little Caesars in Largo. It's on Keene Road. Is that the same location?
Yes.
All right, so
No, the other one was on East Bay and Belcher.
okay.
Okay, all right, yeah, because maybe that one's closed. Hey, Katie, great story. Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much. Bye.
That's great. I love just getting phone calls. Folks, if you ever have anything to add to the show, folks, I don't have to solicit calls. A lot of times I'll say, hey, let's go to phones. If you want to add something here, call 800-990-1047. If we're ever doing anything and I'm not particularly directing phone callers to call in, you can still call the show. Just like Katie, if you got something to add to anything we're talking about, feel free to call us anytime. 800-990-1047. We have a Hawk to a Girl update.
One move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh,
That
you
do.
gotta give him that hawk too and spit on that thing. You get me?
Hot girl of summer. I love it.
That's what you want to take home to mama. Well, guess what she's afraid of now?
Yeah, you do. That's exactly what you want to take home. to
Guess
mama.
what the Hawk to a Girl's afraid of?
What?
She's afraid that she's going to be kidnapped. She's hired security guards. What is she afraid of being stuffed like in a Chowchilla school bus underground or something? Or I mean, what?
Now that she's revealed her secret talent, she's made herself much more kidnappable.
The Hawk to a Girl has revealed in an interview her real name is Haley Welch, but nobody knows that. She'll be the Hawk to a Girl on her tombstone epitaph. Spit on that thing, or Hawk to a.
Ugh.
Good for her.
So now she's just given an interview, and now she is afraid of being kidnapped, and she's hired security guards to protect her when she leaves the house. She says, I'm so famous, I'm paranoid of getting kidnapped. Oh, great.
All right, Katie.
Well, I think maybe your fame could help you in terms of not getting kidnapped, because a lot of people have their eyes on you when you're out and about, and then they're going to see if someone takes you. So maybe her paranoia is for no good reason.
I have an Ingrid. Yes, Andrew.
Will we remember her next year?
Oh, I'll remember her the rest of my life. Hawk to a girl?
I
Yeah.
gotta, for the duration of us doing this morning show, which could be the rest of this week or
Rest of the year, maybe?
maybe part of next. I don't know.
Who knows?
I have no idea. I'm guessing that
Hawk too and
is going to be part of the program for
Listen,
sometime. Occasionally, it's going to be dropped in.
for the rest of your life, Andrew, when you hear Hawk Tour, or when your grandchildren come to you and say, Grandpa, tell us about the Hawk Tour girl, you'll know the whole story. You'll
Well,
never forget.
So you want sit on my lap here, and also I have a Werther's original for you, little girl.
Let
All
me
right.
tell you about the Hawk Tour girl.
740 got an update.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
All right.
Oh,
We
God.
gotta listen to the whole thing.
Uh,
I mean, the crowd's even booing.
Oh, say,
anyway, so the awful rendition by Ingrid Andress, four-time country music Grammy nominee, who said earlier this week that she apologized for the awful rendition at the Home Run Derby preceding the All-Star game for Major League Baseball. She apologized, said that she was drunk, and she has an alcohol problem, and she's going to rehab. They say they want me to go to rehab, baby. I say, yeah.
She's going.
Yeah. Well, the update, two quick updates here. First of all, her tour dates have been canceled.
Oh, no.
Kind of tough to do your tour dates if you're in rehab, right?
Right.
And you say, yeah. All right, that's update number one. So if you were going to follow Ingrid Andress around the country, well, tickets are currently not available online. The event's been canceled by the organizer. That's what people are getting online for some of her upcoming concert dates. But the other major update is Roseanne Barr is saying, leave her alone.
Yeah, leave her. I'm on Roseanne's side on this. I agree with her.
Jeez.
Okay, she botched the song. She was drunk. She's a talented singer.
Yeah, but you do have to kind of be responsible. You kind of owe it to the people you're performing in front of to not be a drunk mess when you get up there.
But she's coming out saying, listen, I was drunk, guys. Sorry, y'all.
If you have a national television national anthem appearance, how the hell, I mean, you must really have a problem for you to get all tanked up prior to going on national television to do the national anthem before the home run derby.
See, that's the thing. If this is
real problems.
If this is a little out of character, let's say, I'm sure there's a pre-party. They've been partying all day. Got a pretty girl here with a bunch of baseball players. They're probably really loose. And she gets drunk one time and botches the song. That's one thing.
Right. And that's the question. Does she have a real, persistent, chronic alcohol abuse problem? Maybe is she getting loaded and lit and is she getting tanked constantly and she's like, not able to function? Or did she get really loaded, did a horrible job, and is using the whole rehab thing as a cover to cover that one event? That's the question.
I tie one on and show my ass on national TV, and it's really a one-off, and I don't have a drinking problem. I don't go to rehab for it.
Well, Roseanne Barr told TMZ yesterday that the haters need to back off because, quote, the Star-Spangled Banner is the hardest song in the world to sing.
We said that. That's true.
That's true. Yeah, it's a hard song.
And remember, Roseanne's rendition of the national anthem, which was just horrific. It was 1990, and it was a San Diego Padres game.
Yeah, but she was trying to be terrible. She's a comedian. I mean, that's what she does.
Oh, God, that was awful. Remember this?
I'll say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we have at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fire.
Oh, my God, just awful. That was an embarrassment.
I'd like to know.
That was also disrespectful.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, very much.
Great.
I would like to know if singers, performers, if there are any of them who regularly drink before they perform. Because number one, I don't think it's the long-term use that's hard on your vocal cords. But would you say that, okay, yeah, some singers do. They say it loosens them up and they have a better show.
Yeah.
Or would you say most singers don't? They're committed to what they're doing and they don't want to take a chance. What would you think about that?
I know that Def Leppard, they all smoke spice before their concerts.
Right. You've got that. You've got that end of the spectrum.
I'm kidding. That was a joke.
I know, but I'm picturing partying rockers that probably do get.
All right, you guys
loaded.
have been backstage on these concerts before. There's all kinds of things going on backstage. Listen, she got drunk before the national anthem. She goes out there and she botches it.
But I also do like that she came out, this country singer, this Ingrid Andress. I like that she came out and said, I'm not going to I'm not going to bull bleep you guys. I was drunk. I'm going to, when I do a bad show, I'm going to use that line. Hey, guys, show sucked today. I'm not going to bull bleep you,
I'll tell
I'm not
you
going
right
to bull,
MJ,
I'm just going to start using that.
I wish you did half the shows drunk.
Okay, speaking of that,
Yeah.
we'll remember.
I think the shows would be a little better if you had a little half one tied on.
I had a little tequila one time for this show, and it was a blast. I don't think you were here, Fester, but it was
Did you put it in your coffee?
Some holiday. Yeah, folks down the hall.
Oh, you did a drunk show?
Yeah, you remember that. I started giggling, and I was just like,
Mayos ago.
yeah, see, I think it was
that's right.
Not this past Cinco de Mayo, but the one before.
Yeah, some restaurant or bar came in for another radio station.
Yes.
And you were throwing back their
Tequila.
yeah,
Yeah, and I got super giggly.
margaritas or whatever they had.
And you were calling me out. You're like, look at your face. Your face is all red.
Yeah,
and I was
you
giggling.
had like drunk red face going on.
Yes.
All right, 7:46 at the MJ Morning Show. Britney Spears update with the whole Ozzy Osbourne incident. Get to that in a second. Let me keep on track here, and I'm relatively on time. This is kind of dangerous, and this is happening. It's happened on at least 2 occasions, and there's video of one of them. And this is down in South Florida, but it could easily happen here. You know, I'm not a fan of South Florida. I'm not a fan of Fort Lauderdale, Miami. I'm just not a fan. I mean, it's like the Wild West. I mean, you think the drivers are bad here. Go down to Fort Lauderdale and Miami. You just get on I-95 and drive south from Miami Gardens and just
and try not to bleep your pants.
Yeah, go ahead and get out at Hollywood Boulevard, go south, and drive down to South Beach on I-95 or Ives Dairy Road or something. Just get in there and just see what the driving is like. It is a crap show down there.
Terrifying.
Hey, listen, I just drive the surface streets in Fort Lauderdale where my brother and my parents live.
Please call him your bro.
It's insane. All right, listen to this. Warning, if you drive, just be careful of this. There is a brazen video that has surfaced of 3 individuals trying to carjack cars in the middle of 575. So, we got I-75. You head down to Naples. You hook that left. You go across Alligator Alley, still 75. But then when you get toward, in Broward County, then you get to, 575 will take you over to I-95 and deeper into Fort Lauderdale. There is video of 3 individuals, and it looks like 2 males and a female. They are standing in the middle of 575 in Fort Lauderdale in Broward County, and they are trying to stop cars. They are waving them down, and they're trying to carjack people on the road. And some people are stopping, and then others are saying, oh, my God. Then they're like quickly taking off and driving away. Do not, if someone is on the interstate trying to flag you down, or really on any road, be cautious. Be careful that they're not flagging you down under the pretense of, oh, my God, I need some help. And then they pull a freaking gun on you and hold it to your head and then try to steal the car. I mean, this is really unbelievable. Broward County, this was... I guess it was technically I-75, but I guess right before 575.
So right over, that would be right past Alligator Alley as it's ending. Right?
A little further down. A little further to the east. But Broward County, I-75 South, exit 7B, Miramar Parkway West.
Does it mention the mile marker?
I don't have the mile marker.
Okay, because you guys are being really specific here.
But multiple individuals running around the interstate attempting to carjack civilians. So heads up on that. That is...
in Florida, that's Russian roulette, man. I tell you what.
Well, you're right.
You want to start lifting handles in a traffic jam I'm in?
You got a lot of folks with concealed weapons permits. And then, of course, we went to the non-permitted concealed carry, which I think began last year. Last July, if I'm not mistaken. I think that went into effect last July 1st. Not this one, but the one back in 23. Wow. All right, Brittany, I got a crazy story I got to tell. I got a text from a good friend of mine and, a scuba shop that I've used for years and I love. And I got a text and he's like, hey, man, I'm a little disappointed. I'm like, what? So I had to figure what was going on.
That's a phishing text if I've ever heard one.
Hang on a minute. I got this crazy story I'll get to in a second. First, though, we have an update on the whole Ozzy Osbourne, Britney Spears story. I think we did this later in the show yesterday.
Correct.
And the Osbournes on their podcast were going after Britney Spears. And Ozzy is making a comment that he's getting sick and bleeping tired of Britney Spears dancing every day on Instagram. All right, here's the audio clip.
I'm fed up with seeing poor old Britney Spears on YouTube.
Dancing.
Every day.
Save Britney.
It's,
I know. I feel so
it's
sorry.
you know,
for
it's sad.
poor little
Very,
thing.
very sad.
Yeah. Very sad indeed.
It's heartbreaking.
It is.
Yeah. Hey, Ozzy.
Leave Britney alone.
All right. So Britney has responded to every bleeping day, you know. So the Osbournes, and then you heard Sharon Osbourne. She jumped in to kind of make what he's saying, audible.
Who the hell listens
Yeah, she
to
was
the
translating.
Who listens to the Osbournes podcast?
My God, I want to poke my ears out with barbecue skewers.
Yeah, that hurt.
Give me some shish kebab skewers. I want to jam in my eardrums.
I mean, seriously, how many subscribers does the Osbournes have?
I don't know.
Ugh,
All right, so
terrible.
once again,
I'm fed up with seeing poor old Britney Spears.
is she saying I'm fed up with? Is that what he's saying? I'm fed up. Is that what he's
Sure.
trying to say here?
Maybe.
I'm fed up
Hey.
with seeing poor old Britney Spears on YouTube
Dancing.
every day.
Save Britney.
It's,
I know. I feel so
it's
sorry.
you know,
for
it's sad.
poor little
Very,
thing.
very sad.
Yeah. Very sad indeed.
It's heartbreaking.
It
And
is.
that's Jack Osbourne jumping in. I think the only one not there is Kelly Osbourne, right?
Yeah.
So Britney Spears has responded now to Ozzy Osbourne, and she says, I'm going to do a photo shoot with Kate Beckinsale and tell the Osbourne family, who is the most boring family known to mankind, to kindly F off. Britney Spears posted that in a lengthy note that she put up on Instagram yesterday. And I don't know what is her reference to Kate Beckinsale. I know that Beckinsale was also Fester brought up the whole message here. I only have the excerpt.
Yeah.
But Beckinsale, wasn't she being attacked as well? And wasn't she also out of commission she was hospitalized?
Yeah, a couple things. Two separate stories with Kate Beckinsale.
All right, so what is it?
Story number one is she was hospitalized for X amount of months, and she had a tear in her esophagus.
Yeah, we did that. I remember.
Yes.
I remember that I mentioned that earlier this week or late last week. I said, "Hey, remember when Kate Beckinsale disappeared for like a month plus?
Right.
Now she said that she had a hole in her esophagus.
Right. Okay. So a story that's higher up in the news feed that you're hearing more about lately with Kate Beckinsale is she's talking about how awful people are bullying her, talking about how much plastic surgery she's allegedly had, talking about how, and she looks phenomenal. And she was talking about how people are just so cruel to her in terms of saying she should do age-appropriate content, things along those lines.
All right, so Britney is defending Kate Beckinsale and telling Ozzy Osbourne and family to F off.
Yeah, she closes her long letter, like a 4-page Instagram letter.
Oh, my God, it's a ramble fest.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, I like Britney Spears. I feel bad that she's been a tortured soul. I wish Britney only the best. And listen, she's got the right. I mean, if the Osbournes want to come out and dance every bleeping day.
Okay.
Yeah. If the Osbournes want to comment on it, they can. And I've got no problem with Britney Spears sniping back and telling the Osbournes, who she calls the most boring family known to mankind, to kindly F off.
Would you like to hear what came into the MJ Morning Show complaint department yesterday?
Oh, please.
So yesterday,
Did this come to your complaint text line, 813-310-8444?
apparently many listeners confuse the actual complaint department with my text line.
Yeah, and Fester's personal cell phone number, ladies and gentlemen, is 813-310-8444.
And when you complain to me, it's probably not handled in the most HR-friendly way.
Yep.
But that's what you get. They wrote, "Hey, Fester, I normally don't get pissy about this stuff, but it's not nice to make fun of Ozzy's stutter. My brother has Parkinson's.
Oh.
And sadly, stuttering is a big part of the disease, signed Patty." So I handled it. I wrote back eloquently. I wrote, "I understand. If you don't want to get pissy about it, then do yourself a favor and don't get pissy." Ozzy sounded this way for the last 25 years.
Yeah, there's nothing. Nothing
to do with Parkinson's.
I have relatives that have had Parkinson's disease.
Nothing to do with your brother.
Listen, it has nothing to do with that. I mean, it just shows. Whatever we do on the show, we're going to piss somebody off. I could say right now, I could talk about a beautiful bouquet of daisies, and then somebody right now is pissed off. MJ, that was cruel. My father was on the way to pick up daisies for my mother, and he got hit by a gasoline truck, and it exploded, and he got barbecued. Oh, how dare you, MJ, talk about daisies?
How dare you talk about daisies? What, you don't like roses? Is that a dig at roses?
Yeah, then we're going to call, oh, there were bees in a bouquet of roses. It stung my grandmother, who was deathly allergic, and she died. She went into anaphylactic shock. I hate you, MJ. I'm never going to listen again.
So
I've been dealing with this stuff since the beginning of my career. You're always going to tick somebody off. The most innocuous thing, I'll get a hate mail piece over. You know? Anyway, anything else faster before I move on?
No.
You were like amping up to say something, and now you. That's it.
I just wanted to present to you what the latest findings from the complaint department is.
Right. You want to hear something nuts? I got a text yesterday from Dom. And great guy. He manages Tackle Shack. And I'm a big Tackle Shack fan. It's been my scuba shop for a long, long time. And I first, I did commercials for Tackle Shack sidewalk sale back in like 1996 or something, 1997, during the old MJ and BJ show. And when we were talking about Amazon Prime Day, and I was saying, yeah, I did happen to order a couple of things over the weekend, but I don't anticipate buying anything for Amazon Prime Day, which I didn't. But I told the story that last Saturday night, I was running out of hair gel, and I like Pacino's pomade hair gel for my hair, because if I don't put it in my hair when I get out of the shower, I got a big giant frizz fest, and it looks like I stuck my finger in an electrical outlet. So I've got to use a hair product to, tame my frizz. So I put, the pomade into my cart. And also I'm going scuba diving. Tomorrow I'm going down to Little Cayman with some friends to do some scuba diving. And I wanted an extra set of fin straps for my Maury's fins.
Okay. And they, of course, have that kind of stuff.
Well, and I was just kind of joking around. It's like, hey, where else can I have hair gel and a fin strap for scuba fins? Where else can I order those on a Saturday night and they're there the next day? So that gets turned around that I bought my new dive computer off of Amazon and not from like Tackle Shack. So, but it wasn't Dom. It was a customer. And this is just weird. So I get a text from Dom over at Tackle Shack in Pinellas Park, and let me share that. I mean, it was just like what?
Was it just a deformed game of telephone where the messages got bent backwards?
But it gets even more bizarre than that. So this is what. Let me find the actual text here. Yeah, I had it and I lost it. So, I mean, I didn't understand it. So I get this note. There are customers here telling me you bought hair gel and a new Shearwater computer on Amazon. Disappointed. I'm like, what? I said nothing. I said absolutely nothing about getting a new dive computer on Amazon. So it turns out that Tackle Shack, they have Scuba Pro. I'm a real fan of Scuba Pro. So, I buy all my regulators. I get my, my buoyancy compensator, the BCDs there. I have Shearwater dive computers. I bought my Shearwater computers from them. And this listener hears me talking about ordering hair gel and a fin strap off of Amazon because I do like the Maury's fins, but Tackle Shack is not a Maury's dealer. They have other great fins, but not. So that's why I bought the fin strap off of Amazon, right? So this customer goes in and it gets turned around that I bought my new dive computer. And then I said, no, I didn't buy a new computer off of Amazon. If I'm getting a new Shearwater dive computer, I'm coming to you to get that. And then he says, haha, LOL. And
yeah, now he's saying it after he said disappointed.
But wait a sec. The story doesn't end here. Trust me, I wouldn't have done that just for this.
Okay.
Then it gets better. The customer, it's a husband and wife apparently. They tell him that, oh, yeah, they were recently out to dinner with MJ and Michelle, and they're good friends of ours, and that I spilled something on myself at dinner. I mean, what the? I mean, what?
Wow.
What are you talking about? So I have no idea. He gives me the name. I'm like, I've never heard of them. I don't know them. I was not at dinner with them.
Spilling stuff all over yourself?
Yeah.
I did not spill anything on myself at dinner. I was not just out at dinner with you and Michelle. I was not.
Plus, you don't have good friends because you're very difficult to like.
Oh, will you stop it? That is not true at all. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that story. That listen, we're on the radio every day. I mean, maybe people, they listen to us, they love us, they maybe fantasize about going out to dinner with Michelle and me spilling stuff all over my shirt.
That's a fantasy of mine.
It didn't happen, and they're telling the Scuba guy this. I'm like, what? Unbelievable. You saw that Biden tested positive for COVID.
Oh, yeah, we saw that.
He can't catch a break, can he? Yeah, so Biden, the president, is now going to have to self-isolate. He's COVID positive. And listen, it's going around again. I think there are a whole bunch of people in this building that are out with COVID right now, or they were out with COVID.
Are they back?
I
don't even know who had it.
Yeah, I knew a whole handful of folks in the last 3 weeks.
Haven't you been testing yourself every day, MJ?
No.
Didn't you?
No, because my throat was scratchy.
Oh, that's right.
I had a post-nasal drip thing. And I remember I came in Monday, and my vocal cords were a little shot at the beginning of the show. And then it got better during the course of the show. And then the next day, Tuesday, I was fine. But every once in a while, if I have a little, like, post-nasal drip or whatever, it'll strain my vocal cord. And it was rough on Monday morning. And I said, yeah, I immediately, I'll take a COVID test. And, of course, it was negative. I mean, I didn't think I had it, but I'm always precautious and I always want to make sure. But, it's going around. And there's a big local name. I don't want to mention, I don't want to blow any, privacy issues here, but there's a big local name, somebody that I know, and they came down with COVID in the last couple of weeks, and they said that the variation that they got, or whatever, it's like an Omicron variation, they said that it kicked their ass, that they were just like 104 fever.
Will you tell us who off air?
Yeah, I guess I can tell you off air, yeah. And then the whole family got it and everything. I don't want to mention, but everyone knows everyone listening knows who this person is.
Very famous friends of MJ, yes. Very famous.
To narrow it down.
No, it's somebody that I know.
Yes.
Somebody that I know, and then they just had the COVID, had the vid, and because it is floating around.
Yes, MJ, yes, just your famous friend.
I quit being a what?
Everybody knows me. Don't come visit me because I've got the Omicron variant.
It's a well-known local individual.
MJ, if you tell anybody about this, be sure to say how well-known I am.
Hello.
I'm famous.
Hey.
I am the wife of this well-known man right here. I have COVID as well, so please
can you guys
mention that I, too.
Can you guys both shut the
Mrs.
hell up?
Well-known.
Can you guys just shut up?
Sorry about my wife trying to squeeze in on my fame and notoriety.
Andrew.
They name boulevards after me. I am Dale Mabry.
There's no
the
boulevard.
Mabry family. The most famous people in Tampa.
There is no boulevard named after this person. But
okay, it's Howard Franklin.
This is Dale Mabry the Fifth. I am very sick with COVID. Very famous.
I'm about to throw my red Office Space stapler at your face.
Howard Franklin's wife is on the line. Courtney Campbell. Courtney, how is Howard?
All right, stop.
Howard is very, very ill and very famous, if I might add.
Everybody knows him.
Andrew, did you get all the bleeps in the Instacart audio?
I tried.
All right, listen.
Yes, did you get the bleep? All right.
Andrew, do you think you got all the bleeps?
I think I did. I may have bleeped a little bit more than I needed to.
I want to play some audio for you of an Instacart driver. And I want to tell you right now, when I play this audio, I've never used Instacart. But I'm telling you, after hearing this audio, I think I'm going to begin using Instacart every single day.
Instacart?
Instacart.
Okay.
Yeah. So Instacart, the supermarket shopping or Walmart or Target shopping, you go on Instacart, you go on the app, you order what you want from what store, they go pick it up for you, they bring it to your house, you pay, the delivery fee, you're supposed to tip them, etc. But I'm going to tell you what, I've never used Instacart. We've never had it. We never had anything delivered, just never even had the app. I know very little about Instacart other than what I just told you, and there are many people that use it, but it's this audio that I'm about to play that is going to make me want to rush and sign up for Instacart and have all of our items from Walmart and Target and Winn-Dixie and Publix and Trader Joe's. I'm going to have everything delivered via Instacart because this audio has sold me on the deal. This is Yana, and Yana is an Instacart driver, and she's just telling a story about an order that she had to pick up at Target. And, well, she wasn't very familiar with Target. Here, let me play the audio of Yana, and you can hear why I am so excited, and I'm about to race to the Instacart app for all of my shopping needs. Here, listen to this.
Y'all, I just have to drive 20 minutes to a Target, right? For a Instacart order, bro. I'm in that bitch. I ain't never been to Target in my life, bro. I'm in that bitch, bro. Boo, bitch. I'm in that bitch for an hour and a half. Don't know where at, bro. Boom. Finished, bro. Soon as I finish, bro, this bitch want gluten-free. All this whole wheat, all this extra bitch. Zero sugar, all this, like, come on, bro. Get the come on, though.
All right. It doesn't stop there.
Bro, so I get here, bro. Mind you, I'm on E, bitch. I'm only doing this because I need the gas. The bitch tell me building 2, bro. Building 2 upstairs. So mind you, the bitch got a case of water, 2 12-pack of Gatorades, milk, cereal, all this bullshit, bro. Bro, I pull up. She said, building 2, apartment 7B. On my soul, swear to God, I would have never read that shit wrong. All the shit she got. I go to building 2. That bitch say building 2. After I put all the upstairs, bro, somebody come out. Oh, I didn't order this. You mean you ain't ordered this? The bitch point all the way across the parking lot. I'm like, oh yeah, that right there is 7B. I'm building 2. Boom, bitch, had to take all the hey.
I love her.
Apparently, she got the wrong building. It was the building across the lot. I guess started to carry all the stuff up to the floor where it was supposed to be delivered. Wrong apartment. Person says, let me interpret this. I didn't order this stuff, and then pointed to the other building across the way. So the woman is freaking out. First of all, she said she'd never been to Target in her life. Who the hell has not been to Target?
Well, I've been to Target, but I can relate to just try. I feel sometimes when I go to Target now, I'm like, where's this? Where's that?
The stores are really overwhelming. Yeah,
Did Andrew miss a bleep in there?
Andrew, if
I don't know if she said the whole word, but anyway, there's one more bite here.
Grace to the lady that said that because she helped me. But do you see my face? I'm too pretty to be looking like this, bitch. For $20, it's not enough. And Jessica, if you're missing a Gatorade, I took it. I did. She gonna text me telling me, oh, I'm sorry. I wish that I could have tipped you more. I got stomach surgery. Bitch, I don't give a about that. This is a tip. Thank you.
Boy.
There we go. Is that your typical Instacart driver right there?
I love her.
All right.
It's probably pretty close. Yeah.
Oh, my God. And you heard what she said at the end.
Yeah.
She took one of the Gatorades out of the Gator, the Gatorades a lot of times have the old
little ring pack.
That's what I was looking for, that the ring pack. So I guess she was so thirsty running up and down, she stole one of the Gatorades, and then the person said, "I wish I could have tipped you more."
Wow!
Boosted one of her Gatorades. Anyway. That's what I want. That's the kind of interaction I'd like with an Instacart driver. Which, hey, Michelle, if you're listening to the show right now, my lovely wife, let's move to Instacart, and maybe we can have that young woman Yana delivered to our house.
Listen, sounds like she did a thorough job.
Yeah.
She's got a little worked up. It's a big order.
She's high energy.
I mean, if you don't send Yana to Target, a store that she has never been to before, she probably does a really good job.
That's out of control. Hey, we gave away one yesterday. We'll give away another one this hour. Our friends at Lucans Wine and Spirits, this Saturday, the 20th, beginning at 1 p.m., Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the TV show, Glenn Howerton is going to be doing a bottle signing and a meet and greet with his Four Walls whiskey. So this is going to happen open to the general public. It begins at 1 o'clock at Lucans this Saturday, 1 p.m. to 2:30, Lucans Midtown. So that's on Dale Mabry, just north of Kennedy, right next to Donatello, and just south of 275, just south of Midtown. And Glenn Howerton's going to be there, and we're giving away a VIP pack. So thanks to Lucans, when they have these celebrities roll around for the bottle signings, they'll give us these to give away to you, the MJ Morning Show listenership. And we have another VIP pack. So 2 people, you'll get to skip the line. You get VIP access. You get to meet Glenn Howerton, get a photo, and you'll get a case of his whiskey. You'll get 6 bottles of his whiskey.
That's worth
All right,
it.
Nice.
all right, so we're going to give this away this hour. Keep listening. It is now 8:12, and we'll give away this VIP Lucans Meet Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. We'll give away this VIP package this hour. So keep listening, and I'll tell you exactly when to call in and what number caller to be. I have another interesting question, dilemma. I want to pose something. And I think I know where Fester's going to come down on this.
Well, why so judgy?
Do you know there are people that apparently go to Outback, just grab the free bread, drink some water, and then leave without paying? And same thing at Texas Roadhouse. Because those, have you been to Texas Roadhouse?
Have I ever been? Of course,
Well,
the yeast rolls that they have?
Oh,
or-
those things are like crack.
Yeah.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah. See, I was first introduced to Texas Roadhouse because I ride along, with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. I've been in their honorary deputy program since Cal Henderson days back in 97.
Is that like the junior deputies where they give you a plastic badge and a paper hat or something?
No. No, you get involved in community stuff. And listen, I'm very supportive of the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and, Cal Henderson back in the day, David G. for many years, and, of course, now the great Chad Chronister, the sheriff of Hillsborough County. And I'm honored to be in the honorary deputy program. And when I ride along, there are times where a lot of the deputies like to go to Texas Roadhouse. And that's where I was introduced to those rolls.
Yeah, they walk you to your table with the basket of rolls.
I mean, it's like, get these out of my face because I'm going to devour the whole thing. I mean, those things are like crack.
Yeah.
Those, you got to go to rehab.
I mean,
rehab.
I've known people who've enjoyed the rolls, and I've known people on crack. So I could put together a couple of differences.
The point is, there are people that will go into these restaurants where they offer free bread. Like Outback brings you the breadboard with the big giant roll and the butter and the knife, and then you get the free ones at Texas Roadhouse. But here's the question. This is being posed. If you go in, grab the free bread, and leave, are you stealing? That is the question. People are doing this.
I don't know if it's as rampant as you say it.
I saw a social media video. I'm doing my doom scrolling on IG. So you go to a restaurant, they give you bread, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you decide that you don't want to eat at the restaurant anymore. They bring you water, and you eat the whole basket of bread, and you just leave. Is that stealing if they were giving you the bread for free? Think about this. This is the dilemma of the day. Yeah, screw Delilah's dilemma. This is the diarrhea dilemma of the day.
Oh, that's a lot of butter with that bread.
Right.
So, is it stealing?
Yeah, that's the question. If a restaurant is giving you like a free accoutrement, or like a Mexican restaurant where they put the chips down for you.
Or does Olive Garden just give you the breadsticks when you show up? Do they just put it at your table?
Or is that part of what you're buying, though? Because don't they call it like endless salad and
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know.
No. Well, that's
paired to get. Is it paired?
You buy that. I don't
right?
think. I
That's
don't
what
think.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
They don't just give you a couple of breadsticks when you sit down?
I think it's paired.
I don't know. Anyway, MJ, is it stealing, though? They're giving it to you. They're giving it to you on the assumption you're about to order a meal and a drink or something like that.
That's the point. Is that the assumption that you're getting the free bread with the assumption that you're going to actually order things off the menu? But there are people that are going in, getting the free bread, and just walking out, and hey, it was free.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I I mean, is it technically stealing since they've handed it to them?
That's the question.
They gave it to us. We didn't ask for it.
It's not like you signed a contract when you walked into the restaurant that you will give me this bread and I will then order from you. So technically it's not, but it's very grifty.
Jesse Hernandez from the Hernandez Law Offices, this is in Texas, he says that there's an implied understanding that the bread comes free with the purchase of a meal at the restaurant.
Man, you put me in front of a jury of my peers.
With the purchase.
Well, that's the question. You know, we ought to go to the free bread phones here. First of all, is there anyone listening that has actually just gone into Texas Roadhouse or Outback or other establishments, a Mexican place where they bring out the chips right on the table? Has anyone ever done that? Or what are your thoughts? Is the bread free? Or is there an understanding? I mean, some menus, I have come to learn, some menus say free bread or free chips with the purchase of menu items. So some have a disclaimer on the menu. I don't think I've ever seen that at Outback. I don't think I saw that at Texas Roadhouse. But think about this. Is it stealing? I'll grab a couple of calls here. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. So a couple of questions. Do you think it's stealing if you go in, grab the free bread, and you say, yep, I'm full. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Oh, man.
And then, have you ever done this? So do you think it's stealing? Any thoughts on this? Or have you ever done this or known somebody that's done this? 800-990-1047. But this is the dilemma of the day. The free bread, if you just go in for that and you leave, is that stealing? 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. And then in the same little story that I read, and then I watched the video, because once I saw the video, there was a story mentioned on this, so I found the story online. And then there are some people that pull up to the Outback order to go space in front of an Outback and ask for bread and then just leave. And some people say they'll give it to you, that you just go to Outback and you say, hey, can I get a bread, please? And some people are claiming that the Outback will bring you the bread out to the car, and then they just drive off.
Yeah.
Look at the phones. The phones are exploding here. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Chris and Brandon. Hi, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi, Chris.
Good morning. How are you guys this morning?
Doing well. Go ahead.
I'm just curious how this if you look at it, Fester does the same thing when he goes to a hotel. Doesn't actually stay there, but eats breakfast.
Chris.
How's that any different?
Hold on, Chris. It's completely different because that is legitimately stealing what I'm doing to the hotels because I'm not a guest there.
Yeah, Fester is a complete breakfast felon.
I'm having the same moral dilemma that you are, Chris, because I am clearly stealing breakfast
It's a muffin misdemeanor.
Yeah. I mean, you see me stroll into a Hampton Inn or the Hyatt Place or the Holiday Inn Express at the crack of like 8:15 on a Saturday. Yeah. You know it's petty theft at least, right?
It's bagel burglary.
I mean, they're not just giving breakfast away like a soup kitchen, but these places give the bread away.
For those that don't know, Fester's gig is he'll drive up to some of these hotels, motels that have the free continental breakfast. He'll stroll in like he's a guest and just eat and then leave. Yeah. And he even has like a whole bunch of like room key cards that he holds to make it look like he's a guest.
I'd have a wheelie bag in the back of my car to carry in with me.
Yeah, fake wheelie bag.
Yeah.
I mean, listen to the guy I work with. What's going on here?
Yep, I was curious if you ever brought in like a suitcase and just acted like you were there on a convention and whatnot. How do you get away with that?
Chris, a whole suitcase.
I thought it would be like the same thing. For bread at a restaurant, it's only when you purchase the meal. They don't give it away for free.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Free.
Yeah.
Chris, what are you doing? What are you doing Saturday morning at 7:45?
Yeah, why don't you meet him in Hampton Inn?
You know that Embassy Suites right there?
All right, Chris, thanks for the call, Chris. Have a great day. Lynn in Bradenton. Lynn, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi, MJ. Huge fan. Lifelong listener. Love you guys.
Hey, thank you, Lynn.
Thank you for being you. I love y'all. I just want to say I do think it's stealing. It's not necessarily stealing food, but it's stealing time from that server where that server could have earned a tip. And you walked out without paying.
I think it's a very good point. Yep.
My daughter is a server. She's had that done to her on a table where she should have earned around $20 in a tip.
Yep.
And the table behind her walked out after just eating bread and having water.
So you have an actual, you said your daughter?
Yes.
Yeah, that sucks. Or also the dine and dashers. And we always, I don't know if this is true, but you always hear that the server sometimes have to pay out of their pocket if a table gets up and dashes without paying. So your daughter, if someone does that to her, she's got to pay for their check?
Yes, sir. She certainly does. And she works at a Michelin-starred restaurant.
Really?
Oh, wow. So that costs a lot if something goes awry.
Where? What location? I mean, what city does she work in?
In Lakewood Ranch.
Well, I don't know if I don't think it's a Michelin-starred restaurant. It's probably a Michelin.
It's a chain.
Yeah, but it's a chain. But it's a
Okay, what is it?
Maybe it's a Michelin recommended, but it's not. It doesn't have 1, 2, or 3 stars in Lakewood Ranch. I'm telling you right now.
Maybe the people who park their cars in the lot have Michelin's.
What's the name of it?
It's at Fleming's.
Fleming's. Okay, Fleming's Steakhouse. Yeah, I don't think Fleming's has a Michelin star, but
it's a preferred steakhouse.
I think it's on the Michelin list of recommended restaurants. And listen, Fleming's does a very nice job. Hey, speaking of Outback, Fleming's is part of the Bloomin' brands. Hey, thanks for the call. But you know what? With Outback headquarters, with Bloomin' Brands headquarters, right on Boy Scout and Spruce, right at West Shore, right in front of the International Plaza entrance. Maybe we can get somebody from Outback management to call up. Maybe some, high up muckety-muck at Outback can call up and give us the ruling. Do you consider it stealing if someone just sits down, eats the bread, and leaves? Any Outback...
or anybody from Australia.
Or Crocodile Dundee.
Hello.
All right. 800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. Mel is in Port Richey, an Olive Garden employee. Hey, Mel, welcome to the MJ Morning Show.
Good morning, MJ and everybody. I've been a listener since 1992 when you were on 93.3.
Actually, I got to 93 in 94.
Okay, 94.
Yep.
I've been in Florida since 92.
Yeah, get your story straight.
No problem. I started over there on February 7th of 1994. But go ahead, Mel.
Okay. At Olive Garden, it would be considered stealing because our breadsticks are not free. You have to order certain meals to get the breadsticks. Also, we sell the breadsticks as a meal with the soup and salad.
See, that's what I was saying. It was packaged.
Yeah, you get the trifecta. Yeah. All right, Mel, have you had anyone try to just do breadsticks and walk the hell out without paying?
We have not had them do the breadsticks, but we did just the other day have a dine and dasher.
Oh man!
Oh no!
Was it one person, a couple, or was it a whole family?
It was a single lady, and she told her server that she was going to go out and burn one 420 style out in her car and never showed back up.
She burned rubber.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. She told the server that she was going to go out and burn one 420 style, so she was going to smoke a joint in the parking lot and then come back?
Yes.
and then
a half hour went by and did not come back.
Oh, my God.
She even left her eyeglasses and her sweater as if she was going to come back.
Oh, wait a sec. You know what? She probably was smoking her doob, and you know that it screws with your memory. She probably got so ripped and stoned she forgot.
Could be. I don't know. I don't do the stuff.
Now, what did she order? Was she like extravagant? Did she order the most expensive stuff on the Olive Garden menu?
No, she got an average meal, but she was drinking some wine as well.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't know you can just get up from your table and tell your server, I'm going to go smoke weed.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Hold my bill till I get back.
Yeah.
I'm good for it.
You know
I'm
what?
going to get high as a kite,
Yeah.
though.
This 4-cheese rigatoni or whatever the hell it is. This Olive Garden lasagna is making me real. I'm doing the reverse thing because usually you smoke the joint, then you get the munchies. She's eating, then she's gonna smoke the joint. Mel, great story. Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
You too.
Stro is in Wesley Chapel. Stro, MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey.
I was just calling my daughter, who's now 21, but when she was 18 and 19, she used to regularly go into the local Texas Roadhouse, and they would have the free rolls, and they would just order water, but they would always tip the waitress.
Well,
And I
that's
said, hey,
nice.
did you guys tip them really good? Yeah, we paid them like $10.
So wait a minute. They got the free rolls, glasses of water. They didn't pay for any of the food, and they just left the tip and left?
Okay.
Correct. No, they just had rolls and water.
Sure, the story makes no sense. I mean, they tip $10 on free bread and water? You can buy half a meal for that price.
That was their way of being polite, not being like, to the servers.
Interesting. Thank you, Stro. All right, last call on this. We got to move on. Gary in Spring Hill. Gary, MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hey, they should change the meaning of the word free because nothing in life is free.
Continue.
Anything that you buy, they say, yeah, this comes free with this. This comes free with this. Nothing is free.
Well, there's the expectation that, you're getting the bread with the purchase of something. So, hey, Gary, have a great day.
So
I know,
you
but I agree with that. I agree with, nothing in life is free.
No, there's a price for everything.
Well, actually, there are some free things out there, but, no
Maybe
purchase.
it's your time, right?
Yeah, no purchase necessary. There are a couple of free things. But, Gary, by and large, I think your statement's accurate. Thank you, pal.
Yeah, this has been Deep Thoughts with Gary from Spring Hill. Nothing in life is free.
Hey, speaking of food, did you see that St. Petersburg was named the best city in the U.S. for food?
Dude, St. Pete has a really big food scene that you tampons just don't know
Will you
about.
stop? All right.
Yeah, they do have a big food scene.
In the whole Tampa Bay area, the food scene has exploded.
Yes.
Even, ramping up to COVID, things were getting busy. We're getting a lot of stuff in the Tampa Bay area. But post-COVID, the restaurant scene has really exploded in the Tampa Bay area. A lot of options. There's a lot of good stuff out there. And have I been to some great restaurants in St. Pete? Absolutely. But I'm just looking at the list here, and it's kind of it almost is a little bit of a clickbait list, or it's it's one of those companies that hires a company to do a survey and then do a big press release, then to really get press for the company and what they do, and not really what the survey's about. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like a PR move. And I'm not taking anything away from St. Petersburg. I love St. Pete. I've been to some great restaurants here in St. Petersburg. One of my favorites is El Cap right down the street here from the radio station. El Cap, the classic dive bar burger. And, I love it. There are some awesome places in St. Pete, but I don't know if I would put it as number one in the U.S. for best food city in America. I
think you're going to put, you've got to look at Charleston. You've got to look at New Orleans. You've got to look at the big cities. New York City.
Absolutely. Chicago. And, I'm not trying to be a naysayer. I'm not trying to be a spoil sport here, but I just don't see St. Petersburg. There are some great restaurants here, really. But St. Petersburg, number one in the USA? Let me give you a little bit of the detail here. Channel 8 had the story. Whether it's a sit down at a nice restaurant or a quick bite at a scenic cafe, people like the experience of going out to eat. A little fluffy opening there. Well, Insure My Trip. So that's the name of the company. So I'm guessing it's a travel insurance company.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Commissioning a survey to then get a big press release going and get news stories and radio shows to do this story. And I'm not falling for the trap to give them free PR. I'm bringing this up because I think I disagree with it. And again, I love the Tampa Bay area. I love Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater. It's great, and there are great restaurants, but I just don't know if St. Pete ought to be number one in the USA.
Nope, number one.
Insure My Trip conducted a study on which cities in the United States had the best food scenes out there, and St. Petersburg, top of the list. I'll give you the whole list in just a second. And there are some other, I think questionable ones on here. Calculating, and this is what's interesting. How did they calculate the score? Calculating the average ratings of the city's eateries and prices of local cooking classes. What?
Yes.
Wait a minute. So you're coming up with the best city for food in the U.S., and you're considering prices of local cooking classes? What the hell is this?
I'll tell you what, the technical school in Central County offers a very reasonable cooking class.
All right, so St. Petersburg had an overall rating of 7.16, and that was top of the list. The company found the average cost of a meal at a restaurant in St. Petersburg was at about $58 for a 3-course meal, while cooking classes typically fall around $94. Where are these freaking cooking classes? What is this? Is the most convoluted BS story I've ever seen. What is this?
MJ, I can't see you on Friday. I have 3 cooking classes to go to.
Yes.
I'm so busy with cooking classes.
Can anyone in here name a cooking class in the Tampa Bay
No.
area in general? I can name one.
Okay.
I can name one.
Okay.
Sur la table.
Oh, can you
Right?
say it correctly?
No, I can't.
Okay.
Sur la table.
So, they sell the dishes and
Yes,
pots.
that's
and,
one.
It sounds like
it's
Roxanne's
it's like a
tongue is
Williams
swollen.
Sonoma kind of place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been into Sur la table, or however you pronounce it.
You both sound like you have
Sur
swollen
la-
tongues.
sur la-
All right, so MJ,
Are you
cooking
ready?
classes?
You ready for the? Yeah, that's why I'm saying.
Yeah, I know, okay.
This is a bogus story. This is ridiculous.
I love the food scene in New York City. I've taken so many cooking classes when I go there.
You ready for the list? According to this BS Insure My Trip study on the best cities for food in the United States, number 10, Cape Coral, Florida. What the heck?
Dude, you want to talk about a town where the cooking scene is jumping? It is Cape Coral.
Cape Coral is number 10.
Okay.
Number 9, Lexington, Kentucky. Lexington's got some good stuff. Kentucky's got some good stuff. Number 8 is Durham, North Carolina.
Okay.
Number 7 is Kansas City, Missouri.
All right.
Number 6 is Madison, Wisconsin. Number 5 is Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Fort Wayne,
Is
Indiana.
number 5 for the best cities for food in the United States. Number 4 is Cincinnati, Ohio. Number 5 is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Number 2 is Richmond, Virginia. And number 1 is St. Petersburg, Florida. It sounds like somebody was smoking crack, doing spice, doing meth, doing shrooms, rolling Molly. I mean, what were they on when they did this thing?
If you asked 100 random people, name the best food city in the country,
you'd get New Orleans, New York.
None of these 10 would be said once.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. 100%.
Oh, yep. Cape Coral, definitely.
Charleston, South Carolina has a reputation, as Roxanne said earlier, as a great
foodie scene.
Total
Amazing.
foodie city, yeah. But give me a break, really? Yeah, that's just absolutely nuts.
Let me tell you about the food scene in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Let me tell you about the food scene at Walgreens at 2 a.m.
Fantastic. And the cooking class they offer? Forget it.
Oh, man. This is not a great plan. And, of course, this is a Florida story. Absolutely. Oh, great. Guy camps out in Walgreens, hides in the bathroom. The store closes, and he's just going wild on the snack food aisle at 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, man. Guy was arrested earlier this week for stealing various food and drink items from a Walgreens in New Smyrna Beach. According to the New Smyrna Beach Police, officers responded to the Walgreens on State Road 44 in reference to a business alarm that was going off around 3 o'clock in the morning. The alarm company told police that there was a man inside the store, even though the store had been closed since 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Cops say security footage showed the man identified as Christopher Morgan entering the store's bathroom at 9:40 p.m., 20 minutes before closing, but he didn't leave. Yeah, he hung out in the bathroom until 2:42 in the morning. After being in the bathroom for almost 5 hours, cops said that Morgan then walked out onto the snack food aisle, and he's eating Tostitos, spinach dip, chips, Reese's, Ghirardelli chocolates, had some Dr. Peppers.
All the good stuff.
Yeah, you can make a good meal there.
Grabbed a pack of Newport cigarettes. Walgreens still has cigarettes. CVS cut them out.
That's right.
Yeah. See, Walgreens wants you to get lung cancer. CVS doesn't.
I mean, they have a pharmacy for a reason. They
Yeah.
can't help you if you don't get sick first.
Yeah. When officers arrived, they could see Morgan through the doors taking the pack of cigarettes from behind the counter.
Have you seen the video? Have you seen like the body cam?
Yeah. And then the cops are outside, and he's just like looking through the front window. Yeah. I don't know if we have. Okay. Can you play some of the audio?
Yeah, of course.
Let's hear it.
What time is it? What time is it?
So the alarm's going off. This is Walgreens at 3 o'clock in the morning.
He did just grab a pack of smokes.
He's talking about he just grabbed a pack of cigarettes. All right, so there, he opens the door, and then the cops grab him, and they put his hands behind his back, and now they're cuffing him up.
Is there anybody else in there? I don't think so.
Is anyone else in there?
I don't know. I came in to use the bathroom. You keep saying you came in to use the bathroom. It's not like
I came in to use the bathroom.
So was he waiting in the bathroom, or did he?
Yeah, no.
Hold on. Did he pass out in the bathroom?
Well,
5 hours is an insanely long time to wait in the bathroom.
That's a flight from like Tampa to Los Angeles.
I mean, when I heard the length of time he was in the can, I'm like, okay, he must have passed out or fell asleep or something, and he doesn't seem like he's all with it there.
No, this guy's out of his mind. Something's wrong here.
What's the movie? Well, I was trying to think of where they stayed overnight in a mall. They hid there on purpose. Was it Mannequin? Was it Mannequin?
No, Mannequin is where he was having sex with the mannequin.
That's right. Okay.
No, Mannequin's where the mannequin came alive.
And
That's
then
what.
he has sex with the mannequin.
Is that Andrew McCarthy?
Yes, Andrew McCarthy.
Isn't that?
Oh, yes.
Nothing's gonna stop us now. Wasn't that from Mannequin?
Wasn't Kim Cattrall the mannequin?
Yeah. What?
Wasn't Kim Cattrall from Sex and the City the mannequin?
Was she? I don't know.
I gotta look it up.
The movie Mannequin, I think that was Andrew McCarthy, right?
Yes, Andrew McCarthy.
And Nothing's Gonna Stop Us. Yeah, I think it was Kim Cattrall.
Yeah, and that brought us the #1 starship. From the movie Mannequin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and what if I told you I think she doesn't really come to life and he was just doing it with plastic dolls?
Probably right.
It only came to life in his mind.
Yeah. I always confuse Andrew McCarthy with Andrew Shue.
Yeah.
But Andrew Shue
Oh,
is...
they're nothing alike.
I don't have that issue.
But they're both named Andrew.
Oh, you're
Hello?
right. You're right. Kim Cattrall is the mannequin.
Yeah, she is.
In the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the only one that sees it. Everybody else sees her as a mannequin.
Yeah.
Sicko.
All right. Anyway, so Florida man, Walgreens, 3 o'clock in the morning, just going through all their crap. All right. Roxanne's latest fear is old oil at restaurants, ladies and gentlemen.
It is.
Yeah, Roxanne hit me with this during a commercial break like an hour and a half ago. And Roxanne's like, do you know about dirty restaurant oil? It'll give you cancer. All right, so
wait, hold on a second.
What is your latest thing with restaurant dirty oil?
I learned it from Mama Agata in Italy.
Where did you learn this? And
Mama Agata.
Stop with the accent.
That's her name.
Just give it to us.
Mama Agata taught. This is a just serendipitous show
Wait
today.
a minute. Who the hell is Mama Agata?
She was teaching me at a cooking class.
Where?
So we've got a
When?
cooking class theme today on the MJ Morning Show in Italy.
Yeah, she
Of
took an
course.
Italian cooking class in a very good food scene country, Italy.
Yeah. Now that will get you some high points on your food scene.
All right.
So Mama Agata, not only was she reinforcing what you always say about fat in meat, and that's what makes it taste so good. So you should trust her, MJ. But she also said you have to be very careful where you eat out, because if they're frying the food, oftentimes they're putting it right back into the same vat where they've been frying for days and days.
Well, they don't change the oil out if you get something fried, they don't change the oil out every time.
She told me that she was talking to a woman who worked at a very fancy restaurant in Italy, and that she told her they change it every 14 days. And so she was saying that that's what causes, you get the carcinogens, the cancer. And now it's changed my perspective on fried food. I want to ask everywhere I'm eating, hey, when's the last time you changed your vat of oil? Can you tell me, please?
I don't know. I mean, some parts of Italy are real third world stuff. I mean,
now
I just mama gata. I don't know about you.
Oil should be changed, but it also depends on the frequency. Hey, as everyone that listens to the show regularly knows, that one of my favorite parts of Chloe going to college up at the University of New Hampshire was the fact that we flew into Boston most of the time, and then we'd rent a car and drive up to UNH. It's only like an hour and 20 minutes, north of Boston Logan, and we would always stop like in Ipswich and go to the Clam Box, or go to Essex and go to JT Farham's, or up in Kittery, Maine, which was right next to where Chloe went to school in New Hampshire. It's right there. We'd go to Bob's Clam Hut on Route 1. Because I love the whole belly fried clams. The point I'm trying to make is they're fried, and I know for a fact the Clam Box in Ipswich, that's Massachusetts, so about 40 minutes or so north of Boston Logan, great place, Clam Box. They change their oil out every day.
Yeah, I'm looking online. Fast food places that do a lot of frying should change their oil every day, every other day.
So the Clam Box, they closed down for like oil change. Seriously. Fester, leave that right there, but open up a new tab and type in Clam Box oil change. And I think they're closed from like 2 to 3 p.m. or 2 to 4 p.m. for the oil change every day, because then they have to, change the oil and then like let it reheat up.
From about 2:30.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I believe the Clam Box of Ipswich changes their oil daily around 2:30 p.m. And there's like a half an hour gap sometimes in orders coming out because they're changing the oil.
Yeah, maybe some Italian restaurants we have some kind of restaurant regulations in this country, right? They get inspected somewhat frequently.
Is it rude of me to go to restaurants and ask?
Hang on. I'm going to call my buddy Steve. Okay. Steve Schliemann is the president of Ford's Garage. And I just said, hey, Steve Schliemann, he was the president of Carrabba's during the heyday of Carrabba's and the expansion. Hang on a minute. Let me buzz him up here. He says I can call him up, because he's a restaurant pro for decades and decades and decades. So hang on a minute. Let me bring up his cell number here. Hang on. Here we go. Calling Steve. 813. All right. So lots of people locally, they know who Steve Schliemann is. Carrabba's for years, and now he's, heads up Ford's Garage.
This is Steve.
Hey, Steve, MJ, Fester, and Roxanne calling you live here on Q105. Thanks for letting me call you.
You bet. Good morning, gang.
Hey, the reason why we're calling is about oil, fryer oil. Roxanne was talking about that when she did a cooking class when she was in Italy on vacation, that the instructor was talking about, you got to change your oil, and some restaurants leave the oil in there forever, and it can become carcinogenic. And the reason why I'm calling you is, Steve, are you the president and CEO of Ford's Garage? What's your official title at Ford's Garage?
Any way you want to call me, Todd. President's good, CEO's good. I'll take either one.
All right. So you've been in the restaurant hospitality business, 40 years plus?
52.
52 years. All right, Steve, quality product at Ford's Garage. You've been in the restaurant business forever. What is the rule for changing out frying oil?
So first rule is you need to clean it every day. At the end of every shift, you've got to clean it. And so you go in there and you filter it all the way out. But then every 3 days, you really need to replace it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's replaced frequently.
Yeah. Some places, depending on volume, will do it daily. But you say that 3 days oil, it needs to be cleaned and filtered every day. And then sometimes you can go a few days before changing the oil out.
You can, and a lot of it group depends on what kind of oil you use. So there's canola oil, which is Canadian oil. There's vegetable oil, and there's animal fat, which is called tallow, Tallow. So it's depending on the oil you use. Of course, the cleanest oil is going to be vegetable oil in there, but you still need to clean it every day. And then at 3 days, because the smoke point is going to be creating a lot of smoke.
Yep.
The danger, not only chemicals in there of foods that you're using, but also just a fire hazard.
Okay. And then have you known of or have you ever heard any horror stories of other establishments and how long they've tried to get away with using oil?
Well, some places don't replace it at all. They just keep adding to it and just keep rotating through fryer. So yes, and I'll tell you that you can taste it in the food if it's not cleaned and not changed.
100%. All right, Steve, thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Hey, Steve,
hold
Steve.
on. Yeah.
Roxanne here. We love going to Ford's Garage with the kids. Can I ask you one quick off-air question?
Sure.
What are you going to beg for a free gift certificate?
No, Continue. Carry on.
Wait, you want
Carry on.
you want to talk to my friend Steve, the CEO of Ford's Garage, with an off-air? Why can't you ask it on the air?
It's just between me and Steve.
Hey, by the way, Steve.
It's all good. All good.
Steve on the phone now. Steve Schleman is a world-class foodie. And Steve, I recently introduced you to the Nona Slice House.
Boy, what a fabulous restaurant up there. Jamie does an awesome job. Great quality ingredients. I think it's the best pizza in the Tampa Bay area.
Yeah, he does a wonderful job. All right, Steve, hold on. Roxanne wants to talk to you secretly off the air, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you, Steve. See you soon. All right.
All right. Can I ask you another question?
I've got to give away the Lucans VIP certificate here in just a minute.
Great.
So if you would like to go to Lucans Wine and Spirits, this is the Midtown Tampa location. We will give this away momentarily. It's a VIP meet and greet. 2 people to meet Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny in Philadelphia this Saturday at 1 o'clock. And you'll get VIP line treatment. You go right to the front, and you'll get a whole case of Glenn Howerton's whiskey. It's called Four Walls Whiskey. And he's doing a bottle signing at Lucans Midtown, and I've got a VIP pack to give away in just a couple of minutes here. Hey, Roxanne, I really need you in for this.
No, she's too busy talking to the restaurateur. Let's go. Move on.
Have you heard of this new body piercing? This is bizarre.
Above waist or below waist?
This is well above waist.
Okay.
I would love to know if anyone listening has had this done or has seen this. Apparently, it's fairly uncomfortable.
Is it named after a member of the royal family?
No.
Okay.
It's called rhino piercing. When you think of rhino, well, a nose job is called what?
Rhinoplasty.
Exactly. Very good. And if you have a cold, like the common cold is known as the
rhinovirus.
Rhinovirus is like the common. Anyway, rhino having to do with nose. There is and nose piercings are not new, but this apparently is. A rhino piercing is where they're not putting it through, the 2 nostrils. What is that little thing that separates? The hang down. Whatever it is, septum. Whatever the cartilage that separates your 2 nostril tunnels. People will get nose piercings there, or you get a little diamond stud through one of the nostrils on top. The latest craze for nose piercings, it's called rhino piercing. People are having studs put on the tip of their nose. It's not like through the nostril tunnel.
I mean, nose rings have been around forever.
That's a little nose ring or a diamond stud. Look at the pictures on this. People are getting studs put on the tip of their noses like a rhino horn.
Mm.
I mean, that first of all, how does it stay? I mean, how do you anchor that? I mean, do they like jam it in and then like tilt the post and then through the nostril, and you got to like side post it? The little earring backing. I mean, how do you keep this thing installed?
That's a good look.
But no, it's not.
No, for some folks,
they say this is painful. Rhino piercing, vertical piercing placed through the tip of the nose is a new hot body modification. And people are posting tons of videos on social media of this rhino piercing.
Okay, let's talk about nose piercings in general.
Yeah.
When I used to see someone with a nose piercing, years ago, I'm talking decade and a half ago, it would be an anomaly. It'd be like, oh wow, that's unique. Now you see them so much more frequently,
Yep.
and I think they look good on the right nose and the right person. Some people can really pull it off with it, like a
little ring,
a little ring, and then
or also a lot of people
stud, a
a lot of
diamond
people
stud,
have the
yeah.
little tiny the little bitty little tiny diamond where you kind of have to look, is that a diamond stud in their nose, or is that like a sparkly piece of makeup flake?
Yeah, it's right. It almost just looks like a little fleck.
Yeah.
So I got used to that look, and I like it. I can't pull it off myself, but I'm not mad at it. But will there be more rhino noses, and we'll just get used to it?
Just heads up, the new craze is rhino piercing with a stud right in the freaking middle of the tip of your nose, which they say is extremely painful to have installed.
Oh, there's a bunch of videos on YouTube.
And I got to tell you, yeah, there are. There's videos that pop up in my feed. It's popping up on social media as well. All right, I got to give away the VIP pack right now. Let's go with caller number 55. Caller 55 right now, 800-990-1047. Would you like to go to Lucans Wine and Spirits this Saturday at 1 p.m. from 1 to 2:30? Glenn Howerton, the public's invited. You can just show up. Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny in Philadelphia is going to be there with a bottle signing for his Four Walls whiskey brand. So anyone can go, but right now I'm giving away a VIP pack. 2 people. You get the VIP treatment. You get front of the line. You get to meet Glenn Howerton guaranteed, get a photo, and they'll give you a whole case of Glenn Howerton, Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Four Walls whiskey. Get a whole case, 6 bottles. Caller 55 right now, 800-990-1047. This is going to be at Lucans Midtown in Tampa. So Lucans, just south of 275, just north of Kennedy on Dale Mabry, right near Donatello, Italian. So it's that new, really nice Lucans location. So caller 55, 800-990-1047. Caller 55 gets the VIP pack right now. Good luck from the MJ Morning Show here on Q105. We'll start the 9 o'clock hour, and we're packed. I haven't even scratched the surface today. It's already been a crazy show, and I haven't even scratched the surface. All right, let's talk about your next move. Let's talk about... What did I just do there? Sound effects and what did it sound like I was doing during that process?
Sounded very noisy.
Yeah, but what were the noises? Come on.
Crash, boom,
crashes,
bang. Right.
bangs?
So yelling and screaming, get out of the way.
Is it a driver?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hotter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is this?
A driver with a bowel issue? You got to go. Get out of the way. Smashing cars.
It's road rage. Okay.
Okay.
I was demonstrating. I was doing a dramatization of road rage.
Oh, I sensed urgency and not anger.
No.
Oh.
Get out of the way. I mean, I'm gonna run you off the road. I mean, how's that? I think I said I'm gonna run you off the road.
All of that spoke to bowel issues with me. I'm sorry.
The reason why I'm just demonstrating and acting out some road rage here on the MJ Morning Show is because it has just been confirmed that Florida is the 4th worst state for road rage and reckless drivers in the United States. Look at this. 4th worst state for reckless driving, which includes road rage. Yeah, according to the Barnes Law Firm. I don't know, where the hell are they?
The Barnes Law Firm.
The Barnes Law Firm have put together the stats, and they take into account deadly crashes, speeding, alcohol statistics, and general recklessness. And Florida is number 4. Guess who is number 1?
If it's not Florida, California?
California is number 1. Again, population-wise.
Yeah.
That's right. California's number 1. I thought that this would maybe follow the trajectory of most populous states, and it does. There is an outlier in here, though. So it's kind of interesting because the way the states, as far as state population these days, California is number 1, Texas is number 2, Florida is number 3, and New York, I believe, has fallen to number 4. So if you look at the states with the most population, the actual reckless driver list here and road raging and just the overall just dangerous driving, it kind of follows the population. For instance, California has an estimated population of like 39 million. I mean, that's a lot of freaking people.
Oh, yeah.
Texas has an estimated population of about 31 million. Here in Florida, we're knocking on 23 million people right now, and New York is back at 19.5 million now. People are fleeing New York. All right, so it sort of tracks. California, number 1 for reckless driving. Number 2 is Texas, but Florida's number 4, not number 3. We were jumped by another state.
An outlier?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said there's an outlier. And in fact, this state is the 14th most populous state in the country with about a 7.5 million person population. So, I mean, just a much, much smaller population, but they're ahead of us.
What is the state known for?
I'm going to tell you right now, known for cactuses and one of the biggest party schools in the United States. If your kid wants to go to this college, they're not serious about their education. They just want to party.
Arizona?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, there you go. That's a true story.
ASU.
It really is. I had a friend who went there, and yep.
So Arizona is the 3rd worst state ahead of Florida, whereas it's the list is tracking population until we get the outlier. Arizona is ahead of us because it's California 1, and they're the highest population. 2nd is Texas with the 2nd highest population, and we should technically be number 3. But no, Arizona jumped us.
Well, you heard the story in the news the other day about the innocent guy who was hit by a car who was just standing on a corner in
Winslow, Arizona.
He was just standing there, and the car just veered off and hit him.
Guy was standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona. Yep.
What a sight to see.
Yeah, it was a big, big sight to see.
It was a girl, my lord. And you know what she was driving?
Flatbed Ford.
Yeah. She was trying to take a look at him.
Yeah. And just lost control.
Yeah, Arizona's a really dangerous
Don't
place.
take your eyes off the road.
Don't.
Especially if there's someone standing on a corner in Winslow, Arizona.
Joke worked out better than I thought. All right. Yeah. So Arizona, I mean,
well, I'll tell you right now, Michelle loved that. Michelle absolutely loved that.
So, for a while I thought Phoenix would be a desirable place to live. But the more I hear about Phoenix, the less I ever want to go there.
Well, I found a scorpion in my hotel bed there one time.
Duh, that's Phoenix. I mean, I would expect that. It's like finding a lizard in Florida.
Yeah.
What haven't you found in your bed?
There's a list, right?
I'll tell you right now that I have not been there yet, but one of the best, this is unbelievable but true, one of the best pizza places in America
is in Arizona?
It's in Phoenix, Arizona.
What, do they just put it on a rock outside and it bakes?
Yeah, right?
If anyone has been there, I am envious. In fact, we just spoke to Steve Schliemann about Roxanne's oil issue. You know, Steve Schliemann, longtime restaurateur, Carrabba's. Now he heads up Ford's Garage.
He kind of corroborated Mama Agata. There are those places out there.
Yeah, and we were Roxanne wanted to know about oil and how often a restaurant needs to change out the oil. And, you know, Steve's just a restaurant expert, 50 plus years. And Steve was out in Arizona recently. I'm so freaking jealous because, like I said, one of the best pizza places in America, it's a Neapolitan style, is out in Phoenix. It's called Bianco Pizza. And I didn't get a chance to go. I think like 7 years ago I was...
Pizzeria Bianco?
Yeah, Pizzeria Bianco.
Okay.
Is one of the... Folks, if you're out in Phoenix, be prepared to wait in a line. If you're out in Phoenix, you want to go to Pizzeria Bianco, and it's absolutely on my list. Like if you're in San Francisco, you got to go to Tony's. Whole bunch of different styles of pizza. Listen, I'm a pizza nut. I'm a pizza snob. I'm a pizza nut. I mean, remember, Jamie from Nona Slice House, I took him up to New York. We did a whole pizza tour back in, what was that, April? We went to 19 places, 16 places. We did maybe 16 places in 2 days.
Yeah, the tour isn't that long in Phoenix.
No.
It's like two places.
There's not a lot of good pizza in Phoenix, but if you're ever out there, Pizza Bianco.
And
I'll put up with the reckless road raging drivers to get out there. No, but I was out there in Phoenix. Last time was with Chloe. She had a soccer showcase before college. And we were out there maybe 7 years ago. And I didn't have time to get out, then it was just soccer, and I didn't have a chance to get there. But if you're out there, you definitely want to hit that. We were talking about the road rage. So, I mean, it's just kind of weird. All right, listen to this. Listen to this. If you are a dog owner, and we all love our dogs. I mean, if you're a dog owner, we all love our pets. We all think that our pet, you see that I posted a picture of Gatsby last night. Chloe took some of my hair gel. Remember I said I ordered some hair gel?
Yeah.
The Pacino's pomade hair gel, which I like. Chloe took some and put it into Gatsby's hair and spiked it up on top of his head.
Funny.
Yeah, I posted the picture on my Instagram last night if you want to see it.
Let me see it.
Yeah, go to Certified MJ Radio. That's Certified MJ Radio. Look at that. See the hair spiked up?
Yeah, I see it. All right.
So Gatsby, nice shot in the kitchen at my house with spiked hair. Yeah, it's on Certified MJ Radio on Instagram if you want to take a look at the picture. But the reason why I'm bringing this up, we all love our dogs. Everyone thinks their dog is the best dog in the world. And you know what? You're right. Your dog's the best. Do you know how much the average lifetime cost of owning a dog is?
It's going up.
Well, everything's going up.
Mm-hmm.
But do you have any idea? Do you know how much American dog owners will spend on average over your
lifetime of a dog?
Yep, over your dog's lifetime. This is an average. Take a guess. Just take a wild guess.
A wild guess would be like $20,000.
But it did not crash.
No, it didn't.
You did not go over.
I'm going to say 25.
Right.
25.
You say, Roxanne's learning the game now. Yeah, 25,000. No.
Oh, still haven't crashed.
Haven't crashed. Price is Right, the mountain climber, yodeler game.
26.5, Drew.
Oh, no. Roxanne.
I'm going to go 28.
Did you say $28,000?
Yes,
Yes! You get $28,000 right on the button. $28,000 is right. Are you barking?
That's
because it's a dog
Yeah,
cat.
she's really
We're talking
excited.
about dogs.
Come on, Roxanne. Come on, Roxanne. Bark like a dog. Come on, bark. Come on, bark. Bark like a dog,
no,
Roxanne.
funny when you
that brings
ask
me
for
back.
it.
No, it's not funny.
Oh,
when
now
I
it's
make a
creepy.
request.
Now I'm getting creepy?
Yeah.
So I turned funny into creepy?
Just like that.
Like that?
She had funny, you had creepy. All right, so
$28,000.
Man, I'd rather buy a Kia than own a dog.
U.S. dog owners spend an average of $28,000 over their pet's lifetime.
Whoa.
Yeah, cost of food, vets.
Vet
Listen,
care.
vets are expensive.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we had Scout and Gatsby's teeth cleaned about a year ago. It was like $1,200. I mean, next time I'm just going to go get some Crest and a big toothbrush or maybe a scrub brush. I mean, you know what? I'm going to get a barbecue brush. And I'm going to clean the teeth myself. I mean, it was like $1,200 to get the dog's teeth cleaned.
Yeah, don't use that barbecue brush. The metal bristles are going to then cost you to get the esophagus repaired.
You know what? I'm going to change things up. I'm going to get out of this radio rat race. I'm going to become a vet.
You know what? Years and years ago, was it when I was making my transition from
male to female?
Yeah. I was transitioning.
Roxanne, I just want to tell you, you cannot say that sentence slowly.
Is it true they snip it and fold it in?
Listen.
Is that what they do? Is that what they snip it and they kind of push it? Is that
pretty painful?
Is that they create it?
In this DEI world we live in, if you use the word transition in any sentence, you got to keep going because you can't pause.
Hey, dude.
Wait. Can I finish this?
Yeah,
transition?
but then Fester brought up DEI. There's something really important on DEI.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
Yep.
Now, what was I transitioning to?
You were transitioning from accounting to...
Yeah. A friend of mine said that he would pay for me to go become a dog...
walker?
Acupuncturist.
Oh, a dog acupuncturist.
Yes, but then sadly, in this, or for good or for bad, in the state of Florida, you have to actually be a veterinarian to be a dog acupuncturist. Like you can't just be a person.
Dog needle injector.
Oh, you mean
Okay.
wait a minute? You can't just like rent a storage garage unit and start giving Brazilian butt lifts or Botox injections inside a tool shed in a backyard somewhere.
So that was going to be a lot of school.
What is this world coming to? Why are they trying to quash entrepreneurialism here in the state of Florida? If I want to shoot 30-year GE caulk into someone's ass in my backyard tool shed, why can't I do it?
Okay, well, you probably could, sir. Roxanne's talking about just putting a couple of therapy needles in the dogs.
And a dog, and
I want to dap that ass. You know, dap. Get it?
Yeah.
Dap caulking. Yeah,
I got it. Yeah, good. Home Depot joke.
Hey, can you bark again?
So listen.
All right.
So he wanted me to be an acupuncturist, but I couldn't go take all that school to become a veterinarian. But you can be an acupuncturist for humans and not be an MD, right?
You take like a weekend course at the junior college and get an acupuncture.
You know what?
But I bet they make a ton of money because people want to take care of their pets, rightfully so.
Roxanne is saying that she just wants to poke things all day long. Right?
Right after I said I transitioned.
Right. And you had your poker turned inside out.
I recuse myself from this whole segment.
Remember you were talking about how have I just turned creepy? Yes, you crossed the creepiness threshold.
I'm accusing myself in this whole segment.
Yeah, both of you.
All right. All right. Fester, you brought up DEI.
Yes.
Do you know what DEI stands for?
Right?
DEI.
Yeah, I know. What
you said in this world of DEI.
Yes.
What does DEI stand for?
It stands for diversity.
Yep.
Not equality, but like equitability or
equity.
Equity.
So it's diversity, equity, and
inclusion.
Yes,
Right.
that is DEI.
Yes.
And it's
which generally I support.
Which sounds better than DIE. I'm glad they put it in that order.
Generally, I'm pro.
Well, Fester, you were a young Republican. That's really not up your alley.
I've retired from that.
Anyway, listen. The deal is this: that DEI is DEIing.
Yeah.
It's because it's gone overboard, and you're with efforts to become diverse and equitable and inclusive, people are getting jobs or things are becoming so politically correct and so bambied up that you're not putting the best people in, and businesses are suffering. And the point I'm trying to make is that DEI is DEIing. Because you have a lot of companies that are like shutting down their DEI. I just saw that Microsoft, I just read this last night, that Microsoft is getting out of the DEI business. Because it's become this like politically correct, this coddling. And am I for on merit? That's what I truly believe in. And if you're a woman and you're the best for the job, then you should get it over a guy. If you're a minority and you're the best, you should get it. But to put people in positions where they're not the best for the job, or maybe there's some incompetence and they're just in the job for so-called DEI, that's a problem. If you have minorities, if you've got a black guy over a white guy who is better for the job, the black guy should get that job all day long. A woman should get the job all day long. But what's happening, there was such a push for DEI. Find the Microsoft story. And now it's starting to fade. We're seeing a total rollback on this politically correct DEI push. And the latest I saw was Microsoft. Look, Microsoft, this is from 19 hours ago. Microsoft, click on the story. Microsoft reportedly fires DEI team, becoming the latest company to ditch the woke policy. That's the other word I was looking for. It's woke. And wokeness is starting to fade. We kind of got to a critical mass, and I think it's exploded. So DEI on a major corporate level is getting a giant rollback because in many cases it sucks.
So we've had our eye on DEI lately because of the Secret Service story. I talked to my uncle the other night after the assassination attempt, and he was a Miami police detective, homicide detective for years and years. Right. And he said the worst thing about that Secret Service situation is the DEI. He's like, do I think that women can't do those jobs? No, I'm not saying that at all. But you have to have the best of the best.
And what are you referring to as the latest Secret Service DEI story?
Is she was trying to make sure they reached 35% of female employment in Secret Service?
The director of the Secret Service said by 2030, 30% and female Secret Service members.
There's an accusation that the female head of the Secret Service now is there because of a DEI appointment as well. So
I'm here on this show because of a DEI employment. MJ needed diversity. He needed a fat person on the show, and he's like, you got the job. I passed over. I jumped to funnier skinny people because he already had that base covered and he needed a fat person. So I support this DEI and what this show has done for me through that avenue.
920.
I want to put that on the record.
Thank you. You're on the record.
Thank you.
You're on the record. 922 at the MJ Morning Show. When we get back, final chunk of the MJ Morning Show is next. So whatever you do, do not move. Good news. 9:30 at the MJ Morning Show. MJ, Roxanne, Fester, Andrew the producer, and the final chunk of the MJ Morning Show. Roxanne, may I ask you, are you being
No.
Are you being bitten by the new scorts bug? Scorts apparently are back. Did you know that? Are you a fashionista?
I don't. I have to go way back in time to
Hang
pull
on a
out.
sec. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blues Brothers! I just had to do it. All right, back to scorts. Yes, go ahead.
Do I have a new pair that I bought recently? No, I do not. But I like them. I love the concept because sometimes you want to wear a skirt, but you don't want it to blow up in the breeze and see London and France.
And see your transition?
Why are you on the transition today?
You're the one that said it. You brought up transition.
I was transitioning from one career to another.
Oh, okay. Well, apparently Taylor Swift and Zendaya are bringing back the scorts craze. The skirt short or skort.
I think it's great for kids, too.
Yeah, these were big in the mid-'90s, right? The skort.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what they say about fashion. You know, like the bell bottom, remember it went out and it was just goofy and it went away, and then the bell bottom came back some years ago. And
it all rotates.
Everything is cyclical. Also, like jeans, the tight jeans, then it's the baggy jeans, it's the low waist, it's the high waist, right? It's the whole shebang.
Moves.
For Fester, it's really all about tense.
Yeah, I've been saving a pair of size 48Z Cavaricis now for 40 years.
Anyway, the scorts are back. Remember the car dealer hack we talked about? That awful hack affecting about 15,000 car dealers in North America, United States mostly, also Canadian dealers. That's CDK. This is a huge company that they provide automotive software to dealerships. So all of the deals, and there are a couple of companies out there. CDK is a big company. You also have Reynolds and Reynolds. And there are just a number of companies that provide automotive dealer software. In fact, I was an investor in a company that we sold about 5 years ago. That it was a great little PE play for me. But So I'm familiar with the space. And CDK, 15,000 dealerships, and they were cyber hijacked. They had a whole ransomware thing going on. You had either Russians or Eastern Europeans that were demanding a ransom, and they were able to crawl into their system and shut them down. And you had thousands and thousands of car dealers, many right here in the Tampa Bay area, that had to go back to the dark ages and had to do deals on paper. Also, it was like a whole automotive management system. So the sales department, the service department, all the inventory, all the calculations, everything was done in this dealer software program, and it was shut down for thousands and thousands, 15,000 dealerships. Well, guess what?
What?
The attack is over. Things are getting back to normal. And guess what?
What?
The reports are that CDK paid a $25 million ransom.
Great.
I mean, that sucks. Well, first of all, you got to make sure that your systems are buttoned up and that you can't have these cyber criminals take your crap over. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care who the president of the United States is. I don't care who's in control of Congress. We need to designate ransomware, cyber attacks. We need to declare that an act of war.
You need to run on that platform.
I'll tell you right now, that's what I ought to do.
Yes, that's your soul plank.
All right, here's the deal. We need to designate that whether you attack a governmental agency, whether it's a municipality, or whether it's a private corporation or a publicly traded company, that if you initiate and perform a cyber attack or ransomware on any U.S. institution, that we need to declare that an act of war, and you're a designated terrorist organization, and we're going to blow your ass off.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
I would drone them. I don't care where the hell it is.
Yeah.
You send in the frickin' drones or the FA-18s or the F-22s, and you just find them and you bomb them to bits.
Yeah, let's bomb 3 buildings in China.
That's what I would do.
Let's do that.
That's what I'm running on.
There's no major
This is my convention.
Yeah.
I'm speaking right now. This is the MJ convention.
The MJNC, day 3, where he's talking about bombing Russia. Just 3 buildings.
Going right after those cyber attackers. Monsters. Declare them terrorists, enemies of the United States, and it's an act of war. Or you know what? Or maybe we don't bomb them. We find out who they are, and we go all Mossad style, and we just have telephones, cell phones blow up in their heads. They're talking to someone on the phone, and next thing you know, well, fire extinguisher went off. No. Next thing you know, their cell phone blows up and takes their head off. Listen, you just target them. You find these cyber attackers and you start picking them off. All right, so you don't send in F-22s and with U.S. flags on them. All right, so
he's already changing his platform. How can we vote for this?
So we assassinate them.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, we find these cyber attackers, and then we just go in and in stealth undercover, real spook stuff, we take them out. Hey, they fell off a balcony at their apartment off the 22nd floor.
Yeah, okay.
They got shot from 500 yards away by a sniper. I mean, you take them out, then that'll teach them. You don't like my platform?
I love it.
Of all the weeks to talk about snipers.
Hey, here's somebody. Thank you, Fester.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Here's somebody that's not very happy with Chick-fil-A.
Uh-oh.
What's not to be happy about Chick-fil-A?
Yeah. Apparently, on the receipt, the person was at Chick-fil-A, and on their receipt, with the description of their car, it said, beat up Chevy.
I needed to see a picture of the car.
So this Chick-fil-A, full disclosure, I'm an investor in PDQ. But Chick-fil-A is a very well-known brand, obviously. Yeah. Does Chick-fil-A put your vehicle description on because sometimes, they have the double drive-through and then they have people outside, because I've seen them. They have people outside and I'll check out the competition every once in a while. They have people outside and they'll even take your order in line before you even get to the speaker box. Do they put the car description down on the receipt?
So I've gone through the drive-thru and they ask me what name for the order.
Right.
And then I get to the window and they say, what name? And you tell them the name and they give you your order.
Right. So this person is kind of ticked off because On the receipt, it read beat up Chevy.
Well, I mean, they're just trying to be specific on which Chevy it was.
Okay, hold on. I see another video that's on social media. A woman pulls up in a white classic Mustang, and it says old white car.
Yeah, that's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's beat up Chevy, old white car. Here's one. Bleep box Dodge.
I don't know if they're dropping that at Chick-fil-A.
No, that's a Blues Brothers reference. Oh, there's that box Dodge again, you know?
You love your Blues Brothers.
Oh, man.
Can't get enough.
One of the greatest movies ever. Blues Brothers. They got robbed of the Academy Award that year in 81.
Who won it?
Yeah. Back then, I think it was Ordinary People. I have no idea.
Kramer versus Kramer.
I typed that in. Who won the Oscar in 81?
1981.
Best Picture, 1981.
Oscar, Best
Picture.
Pick.
All right, who won? 81.
Ordinary People.
Oh, my God!
Good job.
Holy, really?
Wow.
I just guessed Ordinary People, and that's the actual winner from 81?
You knew that.
I did not. I knew that it was around that period, but holy crap. Ordinary People, Best Picture, 1981. They got robbed. Blues Brothers should have won that.
They should have.
Ordinary People was just an ordinary picture. Blues Brothers had a great mall scene. All right?
This mall has everything.
Ordinary People didn't have a mall scene, okay?
All right.
Let's be crystal clear here. Hey, do you know who this Christina Hall is?
I don't.
All right, so Christina Hall.
I've seen her in the news lately, but I don't know who she is.
So I've seen like story after story. She is an HGTV star.
Yeah, I've seen these stories, and I don't know her because I don't watch that show that she's on.
Yeah, either do I, but I've seen her repeatedly on those jacuzzi bath remodeling commercials. That's where I've seen her nonstop. Yeah, click on that, Fester. Go ahead and click on that.
Jacuzzi Bath Remodel combines safety and style so you don't have to compromise. Because wherever you're at in life, you deserve to start and end your day in a spectacular space designed just for you.
Every time I stepped over my old tub.
She's got a little vocal fry going on.
I noticed that, yeah.
But also this Christina Hall, she is all over the news because she's just, I guess, filed for divorce on her third husband. What?
Wow.
3 husbands? I mean, how many guys is she going through? I just had some questions here. First of all,
she's young.
I don't know how old she is. Maybe you can look up her Wikipedia
Okay.
for this Christina Hall. But she's an HGTV star. They call her a renovation expert. So she has this show on Home and Garden Television, HGTV, and she's doing these commercials. She's the pitch lady for Jacuzzi brand bath remodeling. You know, where they take your like Norman Bates looking shower.
Yeah.
Your psycho shower, and they turn it into like they put the overlays in, and they make your bathroom kind of modernized. So she's a spokesperson there. But I saw that she's ditched her wedding ring. She is deleting photos with her ex, Josh. She has filed for divorce after just 2.5 years of marriage with her current husband, Josh. This will be her third husband she's been through. At that point, if you've been through 3 guys, and I'm asking you, Roxanne, from the female perspective, does this mean that it's really kind of her at this point? If you have three husbands in a relatively short amount of time, does that mean that she's kind of the problem here?
I don't look at it that way at all. I don't look at it as she's the problem. I look at it as, wow, she's really willing to jump in there right away again. Being a divorced woman when I was, whatever age, really relatively young.
Oh, that's right. You got a big D under your belt already.
Yeah, I have a big D. And so, God.
Oh, that didn't sound right.
Okay,
You got
back to the transition.
you got a big D under your belt.
First of all,
but let me finish, Buster, just for a moment,
Please.
because I feel like after I got divorced, I was like, I never need to get married again. I was like, I definitely want to have children, but marriage is not something I can take it or leave it.
You just want to go to bars and get knocked up by anonymous guys and
No,
have kids?
no,
Is that-
of course not. I wanted to do exactly what I did.
What was
which
your
is-
plan?
My plan was to meet someone, fall in love, have children, and marriage was not necessarily something I needed.
Yeah, but you're completely different than this woman who obviously likes renovation projects.
That's a great
point. She's a home flipper. That's what she does.
She's a husband. She's a husband flipper.
She marries a disaster, does what she does, either fixes it or flips it,
and
or does something.
then gets out of it.
On to the next one. And her first husband.
New project. It's husband number 4. It's next project. Hubby number 4.
I've heard of her before. Her first husband was a guy named Tariq El Masua, who I think she did some TV work with too.
Okay, Tariq. I know Tariq. He's married to this girl I follow on IG now. Okay, got
so she's had a couple of Tariq, then a guy named Ant something, and then this Josh Hall guy.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up the question that if you've been through 3 husbands, am I wrong? Am I being misogynistic, or am I being unfair to say that maybe it's her?
Yeah, I think you're being a little unfair to say maybe it's her, and more so what you want to say, what it speaks to is like, she's willing to jump in there and do it again. Like she kind of marries how she dates, how some people date. I date, or dated.
I think she's attractive.
Yeah.
Old man.
I think that her hair extensions are a little over the top and ridiculous.
She's a beautiful woman.
And she wears the tightest freaking pants possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good on her.
I mean, whenever you see her,
to hate so far?
Whenever you see her, she's got the tightest pants known to humanity.
I thought you don't even know her that well. You said you don't even watch her.
I saw the story about her third husband, then I said, oh, that's the one on the jacuzzi bath remodeling commercial that I see every 9 minutes.
Yeah, she's a big deal on HGTV.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people watch HGTV and they know who Christina Hall is, and now husband number 3 has been kicked to the curb, and I believe it's what do you call it? It's like a fire sale or something.
On to 4.
Yeah, on to husband number 4.
Good for her.
Yeah, open house. New open house is coming soon.
How come you don't say that about men? If men marries 3 times, well, maybe it's him.
Well, if I had a story about a guy in the same situation, then I would say it's about him. Right here in front of me, I've got the story about her and kicking husband number 3 out. That's why I'm asking. I'm equal opportunity.
Maybe she's a gambler.
If it was a guy story, then I would have done a guy angle on it. But this happens to be a well-known HGTV host or star or whatever.
I like it.
We got to go. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, I think I'm good. Oh, Roxanne Wilder on IG, if you're interested.
Oh yeah, that was a hell of a sell there.
Yeah, at Roxanne Wilder.
That was the smoothest segue of the day.
What's the last thing you put up?
I'm going to recommend you for induction into the Florida Broadcasters Hall of Fame.
If you want, just go to Roxanne Wilder.
We got to roll. All right,
trying to keep it tight.
You see pictures of my kid.
All right, I'm Certified MJ Radio. Give me a follow. I'm Certified MJ Radio. Roxanne Wilder. Fester doesn't give a flying crap.
I don't care.
Follow the morning show on Instagram, MJ Morning Show, and also follow our Facebook page, MJ Morning Show. If you need to email me, my private email is mj@mjmorningshow.com. Folks, have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow for the Friday show, and let's be careful out there.
The Q105